Hatfield was part of that this morning. Huh? That's crazy.
What's that?
No, the tractor trailer that rolled over on 271 South this morning.
Yeah.
My FedEx driver rides that way, so my FedEx driver ain't come to like 11 o'clock.
That's why.
Then he got caught behind another accident, which basically just pushed back traffic.
All right.
Like, dang.
There we go. Now,
Yo.
Hey,
Can you guys?
yeah, you're quite loud. Yep, we can hear you.
What's that?
We can hear you, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
What's up?
All right, what's going on? How you all doing?
Just a
How you
warning
doing?
now. I like between 8:25 and 8:30, I would be gone for like 5 minutes to pick up my food. Sorry. I'm fat and hungry. Can't help it.
Dude,
You should have did that before 8 o'clock.
I tried to time it, man. I was out. I just got back at like 7:55. I tried to time my food, but my dasher still ain't went to the restaurant yet.
Thoroughly unprofessional.
I tip their asses after.
This weekend, Michigan's opening up to 50%.
I think a lot of people.
Texas is going wide open.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
No mask, no nothing. Everything's open except the borders. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
Get this party started.
the party is started.
We are live.
We
We'll
are
start as soon as I get
live.
some
Yep,
food.
we are. We've been live for about 3 minutes, so Burridge can sit there and go, whatever.
What's up, gentlemen? How you guys doing so far? Mid hump week.
Tired.
Survived it to this point.
Same.
That's been pretty uneventful. Nothing's been going on.
As
That's
Zolt, you got to stand up a little, show off that Wild Aces fan-controlled football ownership.
Oh God.
T-shirt.
Hey,
Put the
he
guns
got
away
a
first.
friend. You heard he got a friend? Number
Who
12.
got a friend? Who got a friend?
Huh?
Who got a friend?
Man, Vale got a friend.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Wrong,
Manziel's not even
team.
playing.
Wrong team.
No, he's playing in the playoffs. Yes, he's playing.
No, but the team that Dave has, it's the wrong team.
Yeah, that's not us.
He plays
sorry.
for some Fruit Loop team called the Zappers.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
They have to be given. They have to be given players.
It should be a
as
good
opposed to
thing
actually
that y'all
drafting
don't
them.
have Johnny Manziel and Josh Gordon.
What the hell do we want them for?
I know, that's why I said it's a good thing.
Is Josh Gordon now playing in this league?
Supposedly. Haven't seen him yet, but supposedly.
Wow.
Now,
You
how
guys
does-
don't have a drug policy, obviously.
How does that work? They get to pick who's ever on their team week by week, but they can lock up one quarterback to be their franchise quarterback, correct? Isn't that how that works?
Yeah, but the rules change week to week.
Yeah.
The fans pick the players.
For the most part, yeah. Teams get to franchise certain players. And then, I'm sure certain players like Manziel had it written into where if I'm playing in your league, I'm playing for one team. Because I can see him pulling that move. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if Gordon pulled that move too.
Wouldn't he be a franchise player though? Like, is
You
he
would
the
think.
franchise player for that team?
Well, here's the thing. They're going into the playoffs now. So franchise players were supposed to already be determined. But it's like suddenly it's like, oh, hey, well, we can get Gordon. Let's bring him in.
Right.
So,
Sad.
Look, during the hour last week, was there anything I said that made you think this was a serious league?
No, not at all.
No.
Okay, well then we're good. We're
My
good.
head hurt after that.
In the fifth down, but
I
Other
know
than that,
about
no.
I know more about this damn computer I'm on than I know about that football league.
Yeah.
And that's not a whole lot.
damn. Y'all got subs working technology.
Whoa.
Actually, my son is going into it. He's taking AP classes in computer technologies and stuff like that for starting next year because he knows what he's doing on the computer. I don't know how that happened. I don't know where he got that ability, and it sure the fuck ain't from me, and it sure ain't from Denise. She's about a mile ahead of me. This dude's like 10 miles ahead of both of us. We don't know where he got this from, but hey, I'll take it. One's gonna go into construction, the other one's gonna go into computers. I'm covered for life.
Cover from
If
life.
they decide to
Not
show it.
not so easy, Suds. Not so easy.
What's that?
Whatever your kids are doing.
All I know, no, they come over and fix my shit. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's whatever they go on to do is whatever they go on to do. But as long as one's in construction, the other one's into technology and computers, they can just fix my shit. That's all I want.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
So are we ready to go? Let's get to our top 10.
Are we ever?
Yeah.
If we had a schedule, we'd
what
be
he
fucked.
said. Oh God, yes.
We just do better on the fly.
Yeah,
Say,
we're wingers.
Let's start.
always
This is
wing.
the top 10 athletes. Just our favorites.
Your favorite athlete.
Just our
Your
favorites.
favorite athletes.
Favorite.
Your favorite.
Those got it, or Akers got an empty chair, so we just skip him.
Let's give him all 10 of his.
Do it quick. It's just gonna be Cleveland Browns players
And Justin
I
Tucker.
think so.
and
Yeah,
Justin Tucker.
I was gonna say Tucker. Yeah, that's a guarantee.
It
Oh,
is
look!
an
Look at him saying no.
I want to see the shrine to Tucker. But you
It's-
probably can't show it.
Oh, yeah, you can't put that on Facebook.
Kind of soft porn there.
You got to pay for Acres OnlyFans to see that.
Yeah. Right.
Acres don't have any OnlyFans. You know what I missed? Fuck you, Acres.
I already beat you to it.
We still throw it in there.
You
That's
gotta
because you're the star. How you doing, Adam? You ain't talked to me all week, man. What's up? Everything good?
I've been fucking working my ass off. That's why I haven't been talking to nobody. Literally, dude, I've been going to bed every night about 9 o'clock.
You ain't even talk to me, and I'm the hype man.
I don't need to talk to you. You do. You do your
I do all
own
your
thing,
talking
see?
for you, huh?
Right, exactly. I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed. Clint got me. I'm gonna go sleep.
Yeah, we know.
Are you
In-
serious? Are you
in order to
serious?
have
Yeah,
OnlyFans,
look,
Acres
there
would
it
have to
is.
have fans.
There it is. The
Oh,
Tucker
sure.
autographed jersey. Yep.
He's sad.
He-
When your kicker is
He's folding it.
when your kicker is your favorite player, that means
Hold on,
your
George.
team truly
George,
sucks.
what the hell did you get me into tonight? You got me on here with Acres and Suds.
Why is there some sticky spots on that Tucker jersey?
Well, we all know the answer to that.
It's really sad that you know what they look like.
Whoa.
We've all been there. We've all done it. I just used a sock, not a jersey.
It's so close to 10 o'clock.
No, right?
Sorry.
We can't go after dark
Man.
already.
I was gonna say.
It ain't even dark.
I was gonna say the sun
Wait a
barely
minute,
went
where you
down.
live
It's
at?
dark over here.
Are you in California that it ain't dark?
Oh Lord. Wow.
I was telling the guys before we went on air about this young man down in Baltimore. I'll share
Yeah,
this
I
while
heard that
George
one.
playing around with himself. There's a kid down there online. You can look it up. It's called Baltimore student 0.13. This kid's got he's a senior year of high school, and his mom gets informed he's not graduating high school, that he's going to have to basically repeat all of high school because he's only passed 3 classes in the last 4 years. And mom's response is,
Wow,
it's the
who's yelling
school's
in the
fault.
background like that?
That's better.
You're welcome.
The mom's response is it's the school's fault, even though the school has reported to mom over the last 3 years his grades, his attendance, which he's missed 272 days of school.
Wow. And you're
He's
blaming
got-
wait a minute, and you're blaming a school for that?
Yes, blaming the school for that.
Oh my god.
But here's the reason why. You know what he's ranked in class, in his
Number
class,
one. Number
Huh?
one. Number one.
out of 120 students, he's 58. That means 62 students have a lower GPA than 0.13. Not 1.3, 0.13.
Damn. In high school, I just need a 2.0.
That's at least a C.
That's all I went for too, was just a C.
This dude basically, this dude doesn't register.
That's kind of creepy.
Hey,
Just a
hey,
breathalyzer.
did any of
Georgia
you
legal
guys
limit.
did any of you guys see the video of the little kid do the sucker punch to the dude and take the phone?
Yes, I did. It took off running. That was awesome. Dude,
George, pull that up for a second. The little kid that punches the dude and takes off running. It's hilarious. I think the dude's an MMA boxer.
this boy punches him square in the jaw and then just books it.
And it looks like he was planning on doing it for like 5 minutes too.
He blasts him in the face and then just takes off. Gone. Now he ain't going very far because he looks like he was about 4 years old, maybe 3. But he's on the sprint, man. He's gone. I love that one.
And
He's
who
like,
was
"Wow,
that?
bye."
MMA guy?
I think it was an MMA guy, wasn't it, Suds?
I don't know. I don't know. I just went like, he just sucker punched that dude, and that dude got up like he was gonna get him too. Like, I'm going after that little shit. That was awesome. That's no snowflake for sure. Straight up adult. Bam. Take your phone. Bye.
Everything I keep pulling up, it says the reverse. Gives me the reverse. Must be something on TMZ or something, I'm assuming.
No, I saw it on Google.
Reverse.
Google
Well,
had
if you find it, you can share it.
There's also that video out there of Zion in high school with that high schooler guarding him. If you haven't seen that,
That's like the
Hey.
toddler punching somebody.
kid's like 3 feet shorter than him.
Hey, for all y'all Lions fans, who are Lions fans in here?
Hey.
Oh, George,
There's
I
only
just
one.
signed Tyrell Williams,
George.
man.
Oh,
Are you talking about this one?
yes.
no.
Good Lord, that's him in 8th grade.
I know.
George.
That's Zion. Yeah, he's a big boy.
Hey, George, you got to type in kid punches man and runs away. It's got 1.3K views. It's hilarious.
Boy, did we go off the rails. Supposed to be doing a top 10, and here we are going down the YouTube rabbit hole.
We
Oh,
never
yeah.
got on the rails.
I tried.
We haven't left the station yet.
Of all people, Suds is like, let's
You
get on the
started.
fucking rails here.
Here it
Yeah.
is. Here it is.
Bitch.
Dude. Oh.
He's on the move.
Oh man.
Yeah, he wasted no time. It was
Adam, that was a big Mike punch.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
have no
shit.
gas.
Literally running away too.
I'm just trying to figure out what he had on his head. It's like a yarmulke gone wrong.
Yeah, pretty much.
You said
Oh,
I'm
man.
gonna go wrong.
I'm just throwing it out there. Was that Spanky back on the Little Rascals?
No.
Nice of you to join us, Akers.
He's eating.
That's all.
Hey,
You're always-
Clint, thanks
I
for
can
the
always
news.
hear you guys. You guys
I
damn
hadn't
right.
heard that. So now we have one wide receiver.
I got a wide receiver.
Who did you pick up?
He
We
picked up
took
Tyrell Williams.
apparently.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a couple hours ago. And the Giants released Golden Tate, so you guys can have him back.
He's no
Dead
longer
silence.
Golden Tate. He's
Dang,
more like
Dad Simon when
bronze.
it came to Golden Tate.
I mean, he was okay when we had him.
He's more like bronze now.
He's
No more golden. He's not golden anymore.
Bronze is better than what we got.
you said bronze.
Yeah,
Really?
bronze.
And I thought we weren't going to have to mute you tonight.
Oh, you're always going to have to mute me at some point in time.
Lord. Well, then I guess we'll let you kick this top 10 list of favorite athletes off. You can turn around and
Why?
flip number 10.
All right. Well, my first three
a
picks are just
container.
standard
Who goes
picks.
first?
This gentleman, because he lacks actual
I said you can have
talent,
some.
but he still ended up in the
Oh.
NBA, and he still was one of the best centers. But he couldn't jump off the ground, and he couldn't really run after anybody. But he
Oh,
won
bring me
himself
one.
a couple championship rings with the Detroit Pistons. That is Lambeer.
Whose kids are in the background?
That's
And
8.
not those ones. Besides.
Why are you the only one complaining about it? We've done this shit for how many weeks now, and nobody said a word about it. We go with it.
Yeah,
We just mute him.
it's kind of the running thing.
Next,
We going with number 10 or number
So
1?
who was your guy?
Bill Lambier.
Bill Lambier was your number 10.
Yes. No actual athletic talent whatsoever.
He
But
can
he
fight.
got himself 2 championships. He couldn't jump off the ground to save his life, but he made things interesting for defense for players.
Putting
dare-
fear into people is a talent.
Yeah.
There you go.
Suds, how dare you talk about the winningest head coach in the WNBA history?
That is very true. That's very
Larry
true.
Bird still hates him to this day, too. Yeah.
Who does?
Everybody.
He still hates Bill Laimbeer.
Well, Michael Jordan hates everybody that was a Piston.
Even Isaiah Thomas, because he got his own coach to leave him off the Olympic team.
And it was his coach too, wasn't it? Wasn't
Yep.
it Chuck Daly?
Chuck.
Chuck Daly.
Dave, why don't you hit us with your number 10?
Which
My number-
Pittsburgh Steeler is it?
It is
I
a,
was-
it
I was
is
just
a
saying,
Adam.
that's in his top
Great.
5. Hey, you
Adam,
wouldn't
no.
put him at 10.
No, I do have a Steeler at number 10, but that's the only Steeler that's on my list.
Wow.
He's the 1976 Defensive Player of the Year, 9-time Pro Bowler, 6-time first team, and he's got 4 Super Bowl champions, and he's from Ohio, Jack Lambert.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I
Just
thought-
like the way the guy played.
Well, this is going to be an interesting list because I thought for sure he'd have a couple in his top 5. Very interesting.
I have no Steeler in my top 5,
Wow.
and that is the only Steeler that's on my list.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a little surprising.
And you know how much I hate the Lions? I got 2 in my list too.
Holy
Please.
shit.
Please tell me that Matt Millen's not one of them.
Well, we'll see.
Oh, my God. They're supposed to be
Come
your
on.
favorite athletes, not your shit list.
Remember, I'm a Lions hater.
Hey,
So why would
I got a Lion on my list, too.
I
I'm a
got one.
Lions hater. I don't care.
I got one line
They're
on my
supposed
list.
to be your favorite
not the line that people
not
think
your
it is.
shit list.
He's not on my shit list. I don't like the Lions.
But
But he's
fact
not
that
on my
hang
list. Leave it
hang
alone.
On, hang on. The
Not
fact that
on
he's
my
on
list. I'm just
other
fucking
people's
around.
shit list could make it be on Suds' list.
True.
Good point.
But
Clint,
he's
That's a
not on my
qualification.
Clint, who do you got?
Went baseball route for 10. Indians, you know. But I put 2 people here. I seen them both. That's Kenny Lofton and Victor Martinez was probably my favorite Indian, bro. But Kenny Lofton was a beast though, and he got robbed in that ALCS game against Boston when Man Ramirez. They said he was out when he was clearly safe. Indians will probably have a ring. God damn it, Boston got job.
Hey, Clint, thanks for stealing my guy.
What?
Kenny Lofton is on my list at 9.
That's gonna happen. I mean, it's
That would
gonna
be-
happen.
Yeah.
I got one guy who might be on everybody's
Okay, well,
list.
I'll make my 10 Victor Martinez because he was with Kenny Lofton.
And the rules are going right out the window.
Pretty much.
10.
There you go. Adam, who do you got?
I went with a guy that, thanks to Mud City, he's the reason I got into hockey, believe it or not. And that's Victor Hedman, however you pronounce his last name. He's the reason I started watching it and became such a big Lightning fan that I am, to where I watched that whole playoff series, like games all the way up into the playoffs, and I watched every single game in the playoffs, and they went on to win the championship. So I'm a big fan of that dude and the way he plays the game, the way he carries himself.
Mr.
That, and I remember.
Zolt.
Okay. I'm just so happy I'm not the first one to go to hockey. George and I kind of had a bet as to how many of my top 10 lists were going to be hockey players. And he
I'm gonna say the
joking.
over the under at 4.
He joking. Oh, hell no.
Oh,
Your whole top 10?
oh.
No, he jokingly threw a number out there and I almost hit it.
Oh God.
So at my 10 spot is Brendan Morrison, who is a center who played 14 years in the NHL, played for 7 different teams over his career. 600 points in over 900 games. No huge, gigantic accolades for him. He was just an all-around good player. The reason he makes my list is because he was a freshman at University of Michigan in 1993. I got to watch him play basically his entire career there and watch him bring the first modern national championship to Michigan for ice hockey.
Nice. Mr. Akers. Had to get these eventually.
Who's 3 days later?
It's Clay. He had to
he
go
went
get
to
his
go
food.
get his
Mine-
food.
My number 10 guy is actually a pretty popular guy in the MLB. He's very famous for a couple of things. He has a World Series ring. He was also one of the most feared people to play at the plate, to pitch to. Very smart guy. I mean, he wrote a book, called everybody out on who took steroids. So, I mean, it's actually, I got to actually see him face to face, and yes, he was a gigantic guy. And but I never did get his autograph, and that's Jose Canseco.
How did I know you were going to say Canseco after the tell-all book?
Well, wait a
That's
minute.
what I was-
You have his autograph now, fool.
I know, but I was talking about back when I saw him in Tampa.
Oh. Yeah, I was gonna say you got it now.
That is right. He did play with the Rays, didn't he? He played what, 2 years there?
He was on the home. He was actually leading the home run record before the home runs hit before the All-Star game in Tampa in '99. My aunt wanted to take me to the All-Star game, and then when I went down there, I actually didn't know about Tropicana Field. She just knew I liked Canseco, so I had the Athletics jersey and stuff like that. And so she took me to the field, and she goes, "You want me to buy you that jersey right there?" I look over, and it's the All-Star Canseco jersey. I was like, "Oh, how much is it?" I walk over, $275. I was like, "No." She's like, "You sure you don't want it?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "I'll buy it." I'm like, "No." I was like, "You can get me a couple more jerseys for that price."
Right.
For that. As much it was nice to see that he was going to be the person showing up for Tampa, but it was pretty cool to actually get to see that guy smash a homer in Tropicana Field and hit the speaker in the dome. Yes, the speaker that's hanging all the way in the ceiling. Yes, he hit those. Juice or not juice, it doesn't matter. The dude was
Right.
impressive.
Right.
You know who else could hit the ball out of the park deep too was Jason Giambi. He did a couple when he was
Yeah.
with the Indians.
And that's the part that I was saying. When him and Jason and Mark were all down in Oakland, it was really to say is, you know, obviously you can tell when Jason started taking the juice with Canseco, because obviously his home runs were going up.
Or
And then-
Canseco. Fuck Canseco.
Oh, that's right. He left and got food. But you know, like even Mark was wondering how he was doing it. How did he hit these home runs? Because that's what they were paid for. They were paid to hit home runs. And then he was like, "Well, this is what I do." And of course, they're all in the bathroom, in between their toes, getting it real quick. And then, you know, obviously they're climbing. You know, obviously when your team starts winning, they're going to do whatever they got to do. And today's, I think the most dangerous pitcher on the juice is going to be the pitcher. You add 3 or 4 miles an hour to a fastball that's going 99, and he's going to hit you at 105. either you gonna have a concussion or you're gonna be knocked the hell out. So, but yeah, Canseco.
Let's go.
All right.
He
All right,
made your
muted.
list.
My number 10 is my only pretty much current NASCAR driver that I even know pretty much of, and that is Mark Martin. He also turned around and raced a lot of the Corvette races, which I thought was pretty smooth. And actually have to credit my ex for even getting me anywhere near involved with NASCAR, because her grandma actually watched NASCAR races. So every time I had to head down to Toledo, that's exactly what we were doing on Sunday afternoons, was catching the races. So I turned around, I picked a guy after catching a couple of the Corvette races. And I was like, there's a good dude I could definitely follow. I just wish he would have ran Jeff Gordon into the wall a little bit harder, more often.
Damn.
Happy. I'm sorry, you know. Hey, Adam's got his villainies. I've got mine.
That's true. There's people you hate. Mine retired though now, so I don't gotta worry about him.
Chipper's got a nice one out in there in the chat for your favorite athlete.
What
I
Steeler
mean,
is he?
he was under consideration for my list. Believe me.
Darren McCarty. Wow, Chipper says Darren McCarty.
Ooh.
Like MJ comes in with James Ferrier, of course.
James Ferrier. That's a homer pick.
Well,
This is Chipper we're talking about.
Okay.
no,
Good, bro.
that's
if-
MJ. That's
Oh,
Mike. That's MJ.
I still don't take it back. Chipper, he would be a homer pick with the Steelers.
to say
Sean says
if-
Nolan Ryan.
If
And-
Homer picks are a problem, I got a
Oh,
problem
dude,
list.
yeah. Just wait. Just wait.
Are we
Just wait.
saying Nolan Ryan at number 10?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He said
That's his favorite
Ryan at
player.
10.
That's the top 10 favorite player.
It's top 10. Hey, it's there.
I mean, I figured if someone picked Nolan Ryan, he'd be up in the top 5 maybe, but
no.
Favorite athlete. That's all that matters.
and
Greatest
I'm
player
only
to never
picking
win a
people
Cy
that I
Young.
actually got to watch. I'm just saying.
All
I
right,
mean, I can't be like George and get like the 40 years on me on stuff.
number 9. Let's start this one with Dave.
Kenny Lofton, he played with the Astros, the Indians, the Braves, the White Sox, the Giants, the Pirates, the Cubs, the Yankees, the Phillies, and 2 more stints with the Indians. Kenny Lofton is my number 9. You put that guy on the base, he was instant offense, stealing base paths, getting from first to third was a key part of the 95 World Series to get him there. Unfortunately, he wasn't there in 97. And like Clint said, 2007, he was a key part to that when they traded back for him. So, I mean, Kenny Lofton, always fun to watch. You knew once he came up to the plate, you know, he was either getting a walk or a hit, and he was stealing second or third.
Mm-hmm. Which
I cannot believe he played for that many teams and didn't win a World Series.
yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, that sucks.
Which rolls into Clint's number 9, right, Clint? Or did you flip? Did you flip your
My
9?
number 9, All-Star. Injuries derailed his career. I love watching him play. Still go back and watch old games of him play. I want Penny Hardaway. I mean, 6'5", 220, dunk, shoot. Him with Shaq was nasty.
I just like his commercials. Little
Yeah,
Penny was
I mean,
great.
Yeah, that was the voice of Chris Rock. That was Lil Penny.
We need Little Penny and Little Sweet to do a commercial together.
So yeah, Penny Hardaway is 9.
We need Little Penny, Sweet, and Little Jimmy to do one together.
Oh,
We need to
God.
bring. We need Larry Johnson to bring back Grandmama.
Grandmama.
Larry Johnson.
Yes, Grandmama.
Adam.
My number 9 is actually more of a current player, and I like him for the fact that the dude loves to talk shit, but he's actually starting to back it up. He was your reigning Cy Young Award winner from this past year in the National League, and that's Trevor Bauer. And anytime the dude plays against, I mean, when you go against the Astros and you have garbage cans on your fucking cleats, that's ballsy.
Yes.
that earned a lot of respect from me when he did that. Like, damn, he ain't out here to play. Like, he's like, fuck these guys. I'm over here garbage cans on my cleats. Fuck them.
Well, that's another thing too. He was a huge political person when he got on the mound. He also kept writing on the back of the mound every time he pitched in every inning.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, I just
especially with
half-ass it.
numbers.
I'm not Zolt like with the numbers and shit. I just give you who I am. I'm not giving you stats. Fuck that.
Oh, I got one or two that there will be no stats. It's purely just.
I know better. That's like bringing a knife to a gunfight.
Zolt?
Okay, so this is going to be a very similar story to my number 10. Number 9 is John Madden, not that one.
Okay.
John Madden was a center in the NHL. Played most of his career for the New Jersey Devils. Played 13 years. Won 3 Stanley Cups in that time period. Wasn't a superstar forward or anything like that. In about 900 games, he scored 165 goals. The kicker, though, 15% of his goals scored in his career were game winners.
Wow.
Now,
Clutch.
the reason I went with Madden is very similar to Brendan Morrison. Again, he was a freshman the same year I was a freshman at Michigan. I was in a class with him, and I don't mean like a 100-person lecture. I mean like a 15-person class. So it was pretty interesting. Not gonna sit here and say I got to know the guy at all, because I didn't. But it was interesting being in class a couple days a week with him, and then watching him out there on the ice Fridays and Saturdays.
Cool. Akers.
I'm gonna go with Zolt here real quick. You know, I got a guy I watched back in the town, and it was pretty cool. I got to watch him. I wish I could see him again, and I hope I get to see him against the Penguins, but it's gonna be kind of hard since they basically almost finished the series out with each other. And that's Alex Ovechkin. The guy's, every time I watch him, the guy's like fire on the ice. I mean, he's either pumping his team up, or he's shooting shots on that goalie, hitting him in the face or in the chest, making sure that he knows that goalie's going to feel his shot. You know, the guy's got 1 Stanley Cup winner, which he should have 2, but they screwed up 2 years ago. You know, he's a 12-time All-Star. I mean, he really is, especially you know, a guy on the ice. And you know, it makes it even funnier just on, I guess, the guy is the same age as I am. He's just a little younger than me, but for, you know, especially from his Russia, but it's amazing to watch the guy play, especially every time when he smashes Crosby. I love it.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, and he's not playing right now either because he's on the COVID list, Mr. Crosby. So he's out currently.
That's probably because he's got a concussion and they're using the COVID list.
Chipper says Mario Lemieux is his 9. MJ chimes in, says Randy Johnson. Suds.
Mario Lemieux.
Well, mine is a wrestler. It is George the Animal Steel.
Holy shit.
Yep. This is why, though. In 1988, my dad was the chief of police for the town I lived in, and he was running the 4-H fair, and he convinced the WWF to come in and put on a performance. And me and my dad took me out to the Pontiac airport, and he flew in on this 1 propeller jet or plane and landed at the Pontiac airport, Oakland County airport. And we picked him up and we drove him to the 4-H fair. And while we were driving down there, now George put on one hell of a show. He played really stupid and like he couldn't say anything and he was dumb, but he was actually a school teacher. And he asked me what I liked in school and what I was into and all this kind of stuff. And I turned to him and asked him, "Do you actually eat that shit when you bite into that ring?" And he goes, "Nah, that never even." He goes, "I spit all that out way before it." I'm like, "Oh, okay." You know, and he was just a nice guy. He had a voice like he smoked cigarettes since he was 4. But he was just an awesome guy, and I enjoyed the 2-hour ride with him. So because we had to take him to another airport afterwards. So I enjoyed the conversation. So he was just a generally nice guy and a teacher, and he wasn't what he appeared to be on TV.
That's a pretty cool story, Scott.
I like that
So
story. That's a good
That's
one.
awesome. We skipped Mr. Burridge's real quick. He actually put Kurt Angle at number 10, and his number 9 is Dick Trickle, NASCAR.
Just because of the name. Just because of the name, I guarantee
Yes,
it.
that
I was
is
gonna
it.
say he had to,
He had to put that Tide shirt on when he did that too.
and he put him in the 9 spot of all places. So there might be a setup there.
I was really, really considering throwing a wrestler in my top 10, but the problem is I'm just so far removed from it nowadays that just didn't feel it.
There's a lot of things now that I'm thinking about. We could have put this guy. We could have put that guy.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I'm leaving my 10 the way it is.
Well, I was going to pull a Sudbury and use a loophole for my own damn list, but I was going to turn around and just drop the 1996 Colorado Avalanche team in there, but I'm going to go with the guy who, of course, anchored the team down, and that's Patrick Waugh. Not only won Stanley Cup, of course, but also even won the Calder Cup too in the IHL.
Oh, Zolt has left.
Zolt, that got Zolt out. Oh my God. That got Zolt left. Holy crap.
Are we sure he's just not hiding behind the background?
Nope, he gone. He got up and left. I think he dropped his headset and said, nope, he's out. He did.
What, he's not a big Patrick Waugh fan, I take it?
He's a Red Wing fan.
Wings
He can't be an Avalanche fan.
Patrick
Okay.
Waugh and the Avalanche, it's ugly.
It's a war
Sorry, sir.
between
That
the two.
was unprofessional of me. I'll try not to let it happen again.
Just remember, you're representing your football team.
Right.
That shirt. Be professional.
Yeah, he also had his number 33 is actually retired by both Colorado and the Canadians as well. But yes, he is, and I was ballsy enough to turn around and wear a Patrick Waugh jersey into Joe Louis Arena the day they were playing against him, and thank God I was sitting up in a suite. Otherwise, I was pretty much done for. But yes, I was brave enough and ballsy enough to wear a Patrick Waugh jersey in Red Wing territory and survived the ride back home.
You really had a death wish, didn't you?
Hey,
Now, here's the real question. Who'd you go with? Watch the size of the person that he refers to. Did you go by yourself?
You went with Doug?
I don't know. Oh, he's referring to Paul. Actually,
Who did you? Were you with Paul?
It was not with Paul Cuthbertson. No.
Who'd you go with?
It was with my buddy Jamie, who is probably just about as skinny as I was back then. We were scrawny 158 pounds. Yeah. I was easily getting my butt whooped. Easily. But I scaved it and skirted right on through.
He went to a Michigan State, Ohio State game or an Ohio State jersey.
I was getting harassed all the way through the People Mover. Let's not, ignore the facts that yes, there were death threats on the way out. Yeah.
You
got
wore
Steve
that on
Bartman.
the People Mover?
You got Steve Bartman.
Oh yeah.
Are you insane?
Well, hey, had to get back to the car somehow. Yeah, yes. I put the brass balls up there and I went, yep, you want them? Come on. Yeah, I did.
Down there, they might have taken them.
I was fully expecting to have it sliced off of me and gotten the shit kicked out of me, but I didn't. But there were threats, but it never happened. Got lucky. Hey, Gene, how are you? No, not Claude Lemieux, that turtle-nosed rat bastard. No. Everybody but him. Please. All right. Who else? Somebody had a number 9 on this list. Juan Pablo for Sean.
Really?
Fuck. No, Sean just He never really watched NASCAR, so he picked the first fucking dude that came to his head, and it was happened to be Juan Pablo. Don't let that motherfucker fool you.
What was he watching?
Really?
Transformers?
Oh my god.
That's the only time he was ever popular. It was on Transformers.
Well, don't forget too. This is also the same guy that said Brandon Whedon should be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh,
Yeah, he has no
Yeah,
credibility.
okay, no, he's muted.
No credibility.
He's muted remotely.
Hall of Fame for maybe the horses over in Boise. Maybe that's it.
You muted
Oh,
somebody in the
geez.
chat.
First time for everything.
Right, yeah. All right, let's move on to
Power is growing.
number 8. Akers, why don't you kick off number 8?
This guy, I guarantee you, no one has this guy on his list. And do you guys want to make a bet? Where you at,
Well,
bud?
it's your own freaking list, dude. There's of course gonna
I mean, Justin Tucker might be 8.
we're crying out loud.
I'm pretty sure Suds would have stuck him on the list just to make this bet. But I like watching this guy. I mean, he's obnoxious. He stares you down. He's got eyes like death. He's got a saying in his sport. He's in his career, he has made a total of $4 million over the 40 years he has bowled. He has 27 standard titles.
Did you say
10
bowl? Bowling?
I know who it is.
Hang on.
He has 10 major career titles, 7 PBA Tour titles, 4 major PBA Tour titles. He was also Rookie of the Year in 1980. And one of the best achievements, and I actually watched this match, he actually won the CP3 Celebrity Invitational charity event with Terrell Owens, Pete Weber. Who you think you are, I am.
This
Giants
question.
logo.
I
whether
do
or
not
not
know who he
an
beat.
athlete. It's
Well, it's
bowling.
an Ohio legend.
He ain't Ohio legend to me because I don't know who he is.
It's BC.
It's
You said
BC.
sports players.
It's BC.
Bowling is a sport.
It's BC.
Oh, that could be argued.
Oh, shut up. You are a current bowler, you moron. There's one.
They be arguing.
You know it had to happen eventually. Yeah, Chipper guessed Pete Weber. MJ turned around and says the Iceman Chuck Liddell. Not a bad pick.
I got MMA fighter on my list. That's crazy.
I don't think I know who yours is.
Chipper
Who,
said,
mine?
Chipper went with Sergei Fedorov.
I didn't know Chipper was a hockey guy.
Adam. Who'd you
Uh,
got?
Believe it or not, my number 8 is I would never ever normally pick this team because I despise the shit out of them and always have. But and that's the Yankees. But I went with Derek Jeter, probably the best shortstop to ever play the game.
Okay.
What was that look for, Akers?
I don't know if I can agree with the best shortstop, but
One of the best. Then we'll go. I'll rephrase it.
I would
Hey,
say one of the
hey,
best.
it's your own damn list. You chill out. It's his list. He's the best on.
I'm not saying that's why I said I let him have it. I was just saying I wouldn't say that, but I mean, I agree with him. I like Derek Jeter as a Yankee. I don't like the Yankees as much. There are certain people I
Yeah,
like about him.
believe
I
me,
don't like
it-
the
Jeter's
Yankees
one of them.
neither, but
It was
yeah.
hard to pick him, but I was a big fan. I've always been a big fan of Jeter, just the way he played the game.
Yeah.
Dave.
My guy is a 7-time NASCAR champion, the second man ever to do it, the Intimidator, Dale Earnhardt Sr. The day he passed away, I do believe that NASCAR died. It hasn't been the same since. Most popular driver for 22 consecutive years. I don't think that'll ever be broken. Won multiple championships, or won 5 with Childress and 2 with forget his the other owner's name, but in the 2 car. So that's my guy, Dale Earnhardt Sr. He's 8.
I remember watching that live when that happened. I was just like, the race is almost freaking over with.
We were at Adam's house when that happened over on Harwood.
It was just insane.
And when you first looked at it, you was like, it was just a normal accident. You're like, okay. Like, you know, we're like, okay, I'm then after a while, it's like, Okay.
Yeah, but like I said, the
we ain't
race
hear
was
nothing
almost over
like
anyway. It was
You
almost
know,
over.
that was one of the things too, like you said about Dale, is like he was another one about the last NASCAR I liked watching because he was a guy who everybody could know they could race against him, but you had to compete at his level in order to beat him. You know,
He's well known. He was well known outside of NASCAR.
Yep.
You know.
I was not an Earnhardt fan, but I did, like you said, I respected him at the level he had to race at and what he had to do. And like we all say, if you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing. Always got to take, even if you're gonna win the race, take somebody else's car with you. I mean, at least some of their paint. You know? Put them in the winner's circle for once.
I mean, he was the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was. That's just.
Yeah, absolutely. Clint, you're number 8.
My number 8. I guess we'll get the lion out the way now. I'm going with Megatron. I mean, Calvin Johnson during this time was my favorite wide receiver. Receiver. I just throw it up. He'd jump over 4 people. He'll still catch the football. And then Megatron. The nickname, like any wide receiver now, like 6'4", 230 that can run a 4.4, they get a Tron at the end of their name. Like Kenny Galladay was called Baby Tron, you know. But yeah, and plus Hall of Famer. So yeah, I got Calvin Johnson at 8. Now Optimus Prime, Megatron.
Now any big receiver that's the comparison.
Yeah, they put a Tron at the end of their name. You had to live up to Megatron.
And of course, he was compared to Randy Moss. So
also, it's funny, he lost Georgia Player of the Year to Sean McVay. Yes, the Rams head coach. Yeah, let's see how that career turned out.
Who's still in the league?
Who's still in the league?
Yeah, I don't see Megatron in the league.
Because he just retired early.
Yeah.
He knew he wasn't about to throw his body around for
the other gentleman's in
when
the
they
league,
wasn't
though.
winning.
Well, we'll turn around and give him a little time and see if he ends up in the Hall of Fame.
Who?
Or he even ends up on a coaching staff somewhere. You never know.
No, he won. He one of those.
Who do you got at 8?
I have a gentleman, and he only for one play in his entire career, he gets on my list, and that is Billy Sims. During his last game he played, he took the ball and he ran it up the middle, and there was a big pile, and he decided to run across like 3 Vikings helmets. And you saw it on the big screen where the dude's literally on his face with his cleats, running across the helmets, and went for like 50 yards. He got injured and basically never played again. But for that one play that I remember, because I was at the game, that was the greatest run I'd ever seen in my life, and that's why he's sitting in number 8.
Okay.
For one play.
One play. But a hell of a play it was.
Number 8.
No. Zolt, number 8.
So my number 8, I'm not going to throw a whole bunch of stats out there because it's completely not stat oriented. I will say he played for the Detroit Tigers for a large number of years when I was younger. He was a 3-time All-Star, won the World Series with them in 84. Their center fielder, Chet Lemon. Now, the reason I'm putting him on this list is because I have zero idea why, but my dad had like a love-hate relationship with Chet Lemon. And I could always, I'm gonna get a reaction of some kind. It's either gonna be off the rails or it's gonna be absolutely glowing, but it's gonna be like, so what Chet Lemon do yesterday? and it would just be on from there.
Ah, that motherfucker went 0 for 4 with a strike.
it was I don't know. It's just one of those memories from when I was a kid. I didn't really understand it then. I certainly don't understand it now, but it's just one of those memories that I like.
That's cool. My number 8 was before there was Edelman, there was Wayne Corbett, and before Corbett, there was this gentleman who made the small wide receiver slot position famous, and he did it in Cleveland. And of course, not too many people recall who he is because there were 2 other receivers named Slaughter and Langhorne that pretty much took a lot of, the whole center stage for that. But this little guy turn around and cut across the middle, or would be found just hiding out in the middle of the field, and was one of Bernie's favorite targets as well.
Number 86.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. That is one Mr. Brian Brennan. And an extra special reason why this man is on my list, it would definitely even be on my little brother's list a little bit higher, I'm sure, was that back in 4th and 5th grade, we had PSR classes that we went and took, and Brian's wife was my brother's PSR teacher. And when she was ever out sick, or actually during when they had their little one, Brian actually came in and taught the classes. So my brother actually got to have PSR classes taught with Brian Brennan, which I thought was pretty damn cool. And we got to meet him, and everybody got autographs and stuff, and it was really neat. The guy was very cool, down to earth guy, and it was just one of those guys who, after that point, we definitely looked for on the field. So Brian Brennan is my number 8. Mr. Dave, Dynamite Dave, we are on to 7, sir.
All right, number 7. He's a former Cavalier. He played with four teams in the NBA. He played with the Cavs, the Washington Bullets, the Golden State Warriors, and Orlando Magic. His brother played in the league, and he played with his brother when he was with the Bullets, and he was a runner-up for the Cavaliers coaching position 2 years ago. Mark Price. He was Steph Curry before Steph Curry was there. If Jordan didn't stand in their way, we don't know how many championships the Cavs would have won, but they were the team to beat in the East. They had Detroit's number, they had Boston's number. I remember the series, and I think it was 88 or 89 for them to get to the conference finals against the Bulls, or the semifinals against the Bulls. And Jordan made the shot over to Elo, but they had a tough series against Boston. Reggie Lewis, I think, went and had like 37 against them. And then like 2 years later, Reggie Lewis ended up dying.
That sucks. I agree with what you said, though. If Jordan don't hit that shot, I'm still going to firm believer the Cavs win the ship that year.
Yep. Great team, dude, great coach. I mean, Jordan said in his documentary, as soon as he knew Elo was on him, it was over.
He knew it was over. Yeah.
So Mark Price, he did a lot. Number 25, the orange and blue Cavaliers. Lenny Wilkins, head coach. Brad Daugherty, the center. Larry Nance Sr., the power forward. John Hot Rod Williams, rest his soul. Great Cavaliers teams.
Absolutely.
I remember correctly, they had Steve Kerr too on that team.
They did have Steve Kerr.
They did.
They also had Kevin Johnson too, that they traded they traded Kevin Johnson to Phoenix for Larry Nance, but they traded who was it for Danny Ferry? Well, Ferry wasn't on that team.
Oh God,
Ferry wasn't on that team. I'm sorry.
That guy sucks. Danny Ferry.
Suds. Number 7.
Number 7. Well, that would be Barry Sanders. I don't know if we have to say much about him, other than he made a 1-yard run look like the greatest play of all time. he'd go 50 yards, but never go past the line of scrimmage. And you thought at the end of it that he'd scored a touchdown. And all the defensive players looked stupid and looked like dead in the water after he'd do it. He broke so many ankles in his career, he embarrassed people. People had to probably quit after what he did to some people. I remember him turning this dude inside out. He spun him around like 3 times. I believe it was a Minnesota Viking. He spun a guy around like 3 times and then made him fall. I mean, he was just probably the most exciting runner to ever play the game. So Barry Sanders is my pick.
I think I remember the 1-yard touchdown. He ran back and forth like almost 20 yards left and right before he went 1 yard forward. I think I remember that one.
He was an incredible player.
Chipper said, Chipper said if Barry's at 7, he can't wait to see who's higher.
You're not going to know.
Mike, MJ turned around and chimes in and put Devin Hester as his number 7. That's one of Suds' fantasy dudes right there.
Oh yeah, he used to give me all kinds of points in Georgia.
Cribs was better than him. Hester was just fast as hell. If Cribs had Hester's speed, Cribs would be way better.
Oh no, Suds, when Suds
Cribs was powerful too as a retired guy. He broke tackles. Devin Hester was just so damn fast he couldn't catch him.
Yeah, Suds made sure he drafted Hester and the Bears defense.
Oh, you had to when Devin Hester was on there.
With my fantasy scoring.
Oh yeah,
racked up all kinds of points for me all the time.
A ton of points. Those 104 yards. Oh yeah, you got bonus points galore.
Yeah, he killed it for me.
Suds, I have a question. You said you have somebody or 2 or 3 that nobody else has.
Yes.
Is George's boxer on your list?
No.
Okay.
I promise you, nobody. Maybe George knows the names, but no one's ever seen these people play on this screen. Okay. Except for the first one, George has never met or seen.
So this is BE before everyone.
Basically, yeah.
Adam, go ahead for 7.
My next one is going back to sticking with baseball. Is 17-time All-Star. Leads the league for the number of games played and hits, and that's obviously nobody's played this game the way he played it, and he still should be in the fucking Hall of Fame, and that's Charlie Hustle, Pete Rose.
As a gambler, I would agree.
I mean, come on, we got steroids in there now. I mean, granted, I don't think anybody from the steroid era has made it, but one's got to get in at some point, right?
No, they don't have to get in.
They don't have to, but they should. I mean, I can understand if he was betting against. I mean, he was betting against his own team, not against other teams. You know what I mean?
I don't think the betting is the issue, but the attitude and the way he handled it back then was. I think it's more.
If you think a person is going to have steroids get in, who do you think is going to be the first person with steroids to get in?
Me, I don't think they're going to get in.
I don't think so either. I don't, and even with, like I said, with Jose being on steroids, I don't think anybody that's on the steroids should be allowed in the HOF. If they allow someone with steroids in the HOF, then yes, Pete Rose's name should come up then, because what happened to Pete Rose didn't have anything to do drugly that had to affect his body. It only had to mostly affect how he played the game, or possibility if he would ever throw the game. We actually don't physically 100% know, and to see if that's really what happened.
Well, the Astros cheated, and they still got their trophy and shit, and they got an asterisk next to them. Why can't you do the same thing with Pete Rose?
Astros, man.
The Astros.
Fuck all of them. And I'm a Michael Brantley fan. He was on that team too.
Well, he's in Toronto now.
Fuck him too, unfortunately. But back to Pete Rose, though. I think the fact that you look at gambling now, like with everything you can do, you can bet on baseball and stuff. So it's like
the players can't, though.
Yeah, players can't, but just the fact that like DraftKings, FanDuel do lineups where you just pick like 3 innings and stuff like that, just like the whole realm.
Well, the perfect example is the dude from the NBA, the referee. He's the reason why the players can't bet on sports.
Yep. Donahue.
He fixed the games. He's a perfect example why Pete Rose shouldn't get in or why he won't get in. The dude got caught fixing the games. He's gone to jail for fixing the games. You could say Pete Rose didn't do this and Pete Rose didn't do that, but guess who's the only person who knows what Pete Rose was thinking? And that's it. It's Pete Rose. So you get caught betting on a game, that's it. Because guess what? He might have said, okay, I'm going to win this game. And what are the points? Okay, so the game's winning and he doesn't swing the bat to get the home run. So he wins the bet because he's shaving points. You don't know what his specific bets were. You don't know. Yes, he was betting on his team to win, but what was he betting? Was he betting his team to win by 4 or 5? It could be the difference between striking out, stealing a base when you shouldn't. You don't know what he actually bet the whole bet was on. Yeah, he was betting on himself to win, but what was he betting the score to be? You don't know that, and only he knows that. So when you bet on it, that's where the line has to be drawn, and you shouldn't get into the Hall of Fame. Because they specifically said you cannot bet on your teams. You cannot bet in sports. And he chose to.
Well,
Shazam.
Shazam.
Bazinga.
Zolt, you're up
Think-
next.
Where are we at? Number 7.
7.
All right. I had my little dalliance in baseball. Back to hockey. So my number 7 is a Hall of Famer, 3-time Stanley Cup winner, played most of his career with Detroit. What had the utmost talent on offense and was still one hell of a defensive player, and that was Sergei Fedorov.
Okay. And
I'm just reading. Jake turned around and pops in. He goes, his top 10 socks. He just listed all Red Sox. I was like, well, okay, that Jake, it's any athletes, but I was like, well, apparently that's
No, he's saying he's doing his socks and sneakers, and that's his top 10.
no.
He's got some. They're not all well because I don't think Sean Kemp ever played for the Red Sox.
no, that's a Seattle.
No,
That's a
okay,
Seattle SuperSonics.
Okay, I get it. Yeah, socks. Okay. So Pedroia, Ortiz, Alomar, Justice, Kemp, Johnny Gomes, Mike Napoli, Euclid, Tracy McGrady, Pedro. Oh yeah, no problem, Jake. Mary says crickets. Clint, you're number 7. Just saying, thought we had one more.
My number 7 is a current NFL player. Adam, Dave, they hear me say him a lot every time we pick this team. Every time we pick a Seahawks game. Who do I say?
And Russ, we trust.
And Russ, we trust. And I got Russell Wilson at 7.
I was gonna say
7.
Bryce
He's my
O'Loughlin.
favorite quarterback. I mean, love Baker, but like Russ is just like, he want me money. He want me fantasy championships. Championships.
I was gonna say Russ wants his cut, by the way.
He got Sierra. He got enough. He don't need nothing from me. He just go out there and keep doing what he's doing, even if it's gonna be in a new uniform or not. Yeah, I have Russell Wilson 7 though.
Oh, my number 7 may not surprise too many people. It is Gronkowski. However, not that Gronkowski. Talking about the Gronkowski who I've actually been able to have over to hang out and watch a couple Monday night football games. Couple Monday night football games with and have them over for dinner and hang out. Turn around and for the Crushers, tattooed up 19 home runs, 79 RBIs, an on-base percentage of 972.
Phew.
And that is one Gordy Gronkowski Jr. is my number 7 on my list. Awesome guy.
What's
I
he
got-
doing now?
Right now, well, along with all the other brothers, they are into multiple business ventures.
Gotcha.
He actually, whenever they're usually in town, I will get a text message every once in a while saying, "Hey, we're going to be up at a certain locale," and they'll say, "Can you guys make it?" Yeah, we usually try to make it because we've even hung out with Papa Gronk too. So the whole family, they're really cool. They're down to earth. As much as everybody sees more of the party scene in public, there's some pretty cool down to earth family. They really are. They're awesome. So yes, Gordy turns around and makes my list at number 7. And that'll move us into number 6. And since I'm on a baseball kick, I'll kick it off with Mr. Pete Alonso, one of my new guys.
Polar bear.
Mr. Home Run Rookie. Last year, of course, with COVID, we didn't get to see a whole lot out of baseball and who did what. But I mean, I don't think that anybody even really cared worth the darn with the fantasy baseball season. I know I didn't. So hopefully this year will be a lot better. That's for sure. But Mr. Alonso happens to be my number 6. Akers, number 6.
My number 6 is going with the guy who played. I got to watch in his college game in Maryland, obviously, because that's where I'm from. Growing up watching this guy, he was also drafted number 1 overall. It was pretty cool watching him play. But not really a big guy in the NBA, but he was a player that was known for. And he also got to play with LeBron James. He was brought here to Cleveland for his power forward / center, and that's Joe Smith.
Okay.
Joe Smith. The guy that cost Kevin Garnett his prime years, Joe Smith?
It doesn't matter who cost who prime years.
He lost 3 first-round draft picks during Garnett's prime. They couldn't get nobody.
Joe was very, I love watching Joe, especially when he got drafted at Golden State in 95. First overall, first off. And my dad actually, when I watched him play in Maryland at the NCAA tournament, they were playing against, every time I used to love watching him play against Duke. I don't know what it was, but it was something about him and Duke. Like he knew how to play against Duke. And I just liked watching him. Number 32 running up and down the court, slamming the ball down, doing some blocks. And then when he got drafted, I was watching him play, and my dad comes out from behind the corner, and I said, "What do you got?" And he drops the big Golden State jersey down, and he says, "This is for you." And it's a Joe Smith Golden State jersey. I still have that jersey to this day.
That's a keeper.
Dynamite Dave.
So we were on number 6, correct?
Change that to hey yo.
Yeah, we're on 6.
So I had Calvin Johnson, but since Clint took him, I'm not going to reuse him.
Dang, sorry, man.
It's all right, but it's all right. So I was sitting here thinking, taking some notes while you guys were talking. My number 6 is Edge. I just found out that he's a 7-time. He's the most world heavyweight champ at 7-time. He's a 14-time tag team champion with 5 different partners.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Hogan was one of them.
Yep, Hogan, Rey Mysterio twice, Randy Orton, and then Christian and him were a 12-time champion. And he's your 2021, my pick for the Royal Rumble, Edge, and he's a Hall of Famer. My favorite wrestler of all time.
That's not a bad pick.
You thinking of me?
Not a bad pick at all. Adam, who you got for 6?
All right, my number 6 is a number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. He had a great college career. Actually was just named the number 1 quarterback of the 2000s. And my favorite moment of all time where I became a big fan of his is they went into that decrepit stadium down in Columbus and he took that big ass flag and stuck it right in the fucking heart of midfield and that thing, the block O. And that's the one, the only Baker Mayfield.
You know, it's lucky it's your list because
He is tempted, man.
That's exactly why I said that earlier. I said I'm about to get muted later.
Didn't you just say for that team up north?
What about him?
Weren't you not just talking about the U of M for a second?
No, he
Oh, I
wasn't.
swear to God, I thought I heard him say that team up north, and he stuck there. I was like, you confused me there. All right.
But
No.
since you're rattling, you can go off with your number 6.
Already did.
Just went, George.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Didn't check mark you. Zolt.
Well, first off, apparently I had a question in chat, which was, does the Detroit Red Wings grind line count as 3 people or 1 person?
It's 3. No.
I was gonna say we've already
3
thrown Darren
individuals.
McCarty out there.
Yeah.
So
Okay. That grind line should really count as 1.
probably
It's
should.
3.
They seem to coexist as one person. I swear.
All right. So back to NHL.
Well, no,
Doctor.
really?
Surprise!
Yeah, I know it's shocking. Hey, I got one more on this list that isn't. So my number 6 played almost 1,000 games for 4 different teams over a 17-year career. Did all of that before I even knew sports existed. So that's not why I picked him. I picked him because after he retired from the NHL, he became the head ice hockey coach at U of M, and that's Red Berenson. He had a 33-year coaching career at U of M. He was an institution there before I went there, and he continued to be an institution there a decade and a half after I was gone. Over 33 years, he had a record of 848, 426, and 92. He made it to 10 NCAA Frozen Fours and a pair of national championships. That guy was an absolute legend.
He was an icon.
Icon.
Sudsy.
All right. Well, this is where I've gone off the rails. This gentleman, originally from Canada, he walked across the bridge with his 2 siblings because his mother could no longer support him. He walked by himself. He was 12 years old, carrying his 2 younger siblings. He found his father in Detroit, worked in Detroit for years before he went down and played a AAA baseball in Kentucky, as well became a scratch golfer before meeting my grandmother and returning to Michigan, where he spent his later life teaching me how to throw, catch, and beat me with baseballs in the backyard on purpose. And it's my grandfather, Wilfred Moyer.
Wow, we're seeing the softer side of Suds.
Oh, it's going to continue.
Oh shit.
Oh, Lord.
Uh-oh. We didn't put the forewarning that, get the tissue box out.
Oh, it's going to continue.
Okay. Catching up with Burrich's list, Freddie Couples is his number 8. Bernie Kosar made 7. Mario Lemieux at 6. Number 5 is Ryan Sandberg.
Oh, Rhino.
Yep, that's his number 5. And now that the boxes have shuffled on me again. Suds, why don't you just keep rolling on number 5?
You
Well,
didn't
that
get my
would
number
be-
6.
Wait a minute. Why did I have his check? All right, No, I had I didn't have Akers checked off, and I had you checked off. That's my fault.
No, you're good.
You just got compared to Akers.
Damn.
So,
That's
Or
enough to
you
walk
should
off
mute
the
yourself.
shelf.
doing my best. Doing my best. Clint, go ahead with the 6.
My number 6, we're gonna go to the UFC round. And Adam, I don't think it's the fire that you think I'm talking about.
We'll see. I'm not going to say nothing. I'll just say yes or no if it was.
He had the longest title reign in UFC history with 2,457 days, the longest win streak in UFC history, the most UFC middleweight title fights, the most wins in UFC middleweight title fights, most successful defenses, title defense of the middleweight division, and most consecutive title defense in the UFC middleweight division. Second most consecutive title defenses in UFC history, most finishes in UFC title fights, most knockdowns in UFC title fights, most knockdowns in UFC title fights, most knockouts in UFC title fights. And that is one Anderson the Spider Silva. Silva. I mean, the man, this man will literally mid-fight drop his hands like this and just do this and like, I dare you to hit me. And then just throw like 2 jabs, you'll be down.
Yeah, well, he did get his ass knocked out doing that though too.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yes, I was about to say.
Yeah, he did that. Chris Weidman popped his ass.
And then he
Not
break a
once.
leg. kicking
Not once
somebody?
did he do it. He did it twice.
Yeah, the second time he broke his leg, which was messed up when he checked that kick.
Yeah, because I seen him kick and I get wrapped around dude's leg. I'm like, oh yeah, that's not supposed to. Your leg's not supposed to do that.
Yeah, but Anderson Silva though, I mean, that during that time, man, just like the most decorated like UFC fighter at the time. He fought middleweight and light heavyweight.
Do you remember what Rich Franklin said against him?
No, I don't remember what Rich Franklin said against him.
He said the only way I'm going to be able to beat Sylvia is if I get on my knees, because then he can't kick.
Chipper said Ken Griffey Jr. at 6. MJ calls up Marvin Harrison at 6. And then Mike comes back with Ichiro at his 5.
Ichiro
at his 5. Suds, we'll still start with you at 5.
Okay, so this gentleman lost his father at age 13. At 16, he was pulled over for drunk driving and arrested and charged. At that point in time, he changed his life around, chose to go to Old Dominion of Ohio, where he played 2 years, which he got injured in both years and ended up getting redshirted. He then turned around and went to Purdue University as a middle reliever and won their only Big Ten title in the history of Purdue. He stands 6'7" and 220 pounds, and that is my little brother, Michael Sudbury. We said favorite athletes. I don't know how you can not go not there.
Is listed. It's your favorite athletes. I'm not going to argue.
I just can't believe we're seeing a softer side to Suds.
And there's collegiate stats and AAA stats all there backing everything up. I mean, so guess what? It's your own list.
You got to back that up.
No.
He could have just said the last sentence, and that would have been perfectly fine.
The only thing he said was favorite athlete.
Adam, you're up next.
All right, for my number 5, I went back to baseball. Career batting average of 284, 2,781 hits, 630 home runs, 1,836 runs batted in, and the sweetest swing in the history of baseball. And Chipper mentioned it already, but Ken Griffey Jr.
Yes.
I don't care what anybody says. He had the sweetest swing ever in the history of baseball.
Chipper wants to know what the hell happened to Suds. He said, has anybody seen Suds? Apparently not.
Well, I guess I got to redo my list since everybody wants to tag up King Griffey right now.
You got to redo nothing.
You got to redo what? Clint, you're
It's not a
up.
draft. It's a list.
A list. My number 5. 5-time NBA champion, 2-time Finals MVP, one-time MVP, 18-time All-Star, 4-time All-Star Game MVP, 11 first teams, 2 second teams, 2 third teams, 9 defensive first teams, 3 second teams, a 2-time scoring champion. He has his 2 numbers retired by 1 team, and also he has the same birthday as me. That's Kobe Bryant. And of course, I always used to be the guy that everybody was little would post up and shoot the fadeaway, say Kobe. You know, if you miss it, but you started to say Kobe just to do it. So yeah, Kobe Bryant. I mean, his determination and will, the fact that he called out his teammates, like he literally had a presence. He said, "Man, y'all soft, y'all playing like Charmin, like shit like that." He called Smush Parker trash. He told them to trade Andrew Bynum when Andrew Bynum said Jason Kidd, I guess he want Jason Kidd as a player over him or something like that. He like, ship his ass out of here. Like shit like that. Kobe took shit personal. And I think a lot of people compare Kobe is probably the closest to Jordan than people will say LeBron is. Yeah. In terms of this killer instinct. Like, you talk shit about Kobe, okay. Ruben Patterson say the Kobe stopper. Kobe ain't doing nothing but just drop 63 on his head and kept saying Ruben stopper every time he scored. So,
He's also he compares to Jordan because he stayed with the Lakers just like Jordan stayed with the Bulls, and he won his titles. You know, he won his titles with Shaq, obviously, but even after Shaq, he still won titles.
he won 2 by himself.
Yep. So that's
And
why
also,
he's
he
compared more
scored
of
81 points. He won 2 more things. He scored 81 points in the game. And he one time had a game where he scored 63 and the team had 62. So he literally outscored a team. That team was the Dallas Mavericks.
Dave, Mr. Dynamite.
Number 5 is the man from UNLV. He was with Jerry Tarkanian, Stacey Augmon, Greg Anthony. He was my favorite ever Charlotte Hornet player. Number 2, Grandmama Larry Johnson.
Grandmama.
Love Grandmama.
Grandmama.
He had the best commercials.
I still remember him and Alonzo Mourning fighting in the playoffs.
Oh, God, the worst probably playoff fight ever.
At least they swung.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, how many times do you watch a fight in the NBA now where nobody ever comes close to each other? It's like, hold me back. Someone grab my shirt. Hold me back. Never even come close to taking a swing at each other. Did you ever see the one where the guy, he got fouled and he turns around like he's about to say something to the dude, like he was going to get in this dude's face, and it happened to be, I can't remember what he was, but this guy was like a MMA fighter, like second degree black belt in martial arts, and as soon as he turned around and saw who fouled him, be like, oh, never mind. Like you can see in his face, like a total back down kind of move. Like, yeah, you bet you better back down.
Mr. Zolt.
All right. My number 5 is the Detroit Red Wing, whose career was unfortunately cut short after 6 seasons. Stanley Cup champion for us. I'm not going to bring out the stats because the stats weren't why he's a favorite. He's a favorite because if you were carrying that puck across that blue line and you were within 2 3/4 steps of him, you were going to be on your ass if you're lucky.
Yeah.
It's why this guy earned the nicknames Vladinator and Vlad the Impaler, and that's Vladimir Konstantinov.
Yeah, when
Sad
that
moment
accident
when he went
happened,
in
that
that
really
car accident.
sucked. Yeah, it really sucked.
Piper!
Hello, New Country heard from. Gail, I don't think Piper's on the list. Akers, who you got? Hey, Akers, unmute yourself.
There you go.
I am. I give myself a second. I had to get my hearing back real quick. So my guy here is I loved watching him play as I grew up once again, obviously because I'm the youngest out of all you guys on the screen.
No, you're not.
Counting. not
Stop lying.
not counting Suds.
Clint.
Wait, what? What?
Yes, I'm the youngest.
Yeah.
Clint's the youngest than me.
Yes.
Interesting. All right. Finally for once.
Yes.
How old are you?
29.
Akers, stay focused.
Oh, all right. No, I'm usually the youngest one of like almost everybody. Anyways,
Not anymore. Not
the guy, my
Out the
my
way,
guy
old
is
man.
right. My guy's a Hall of Famer, Triple Crown winner, 4-time ERA title, World Series MVP, World Series winner from the 2001, 10-time All-Star, 5-time Cy Young Award. Not only is he known as the big unit, but he's also gave a bird the death penalty at home plate.
It's one of the best pitches of all time.
Oh, did you find it?
No, I'm not bringing it.
Oh man,
No,
I thought
wasn't he the one in
Somebody
the
else-
All-Star game against John Krug? He like threw the ball. He was like this. He just like, okay, I don't want to even try to attempt it.
Didn't he throw his glove at somebody?
the idea was getting charged him on. I forget who it was, but he's charged him on. He threw the glove at him, hit him in the head.
Wasn't Kirk also the same one that during that same at bat was the one that put the batting helmet on backwards and switched plates or switched sides
Yeah.
of the plate?
They're like 8 feet away to play. Like, I ain't about to try to hit this man.
One of the funniest things about it is like a lot of people say, you know, how big he is. I mean, he's 6'10". You have an elevated mound, 102 miles an hour at a pitch. If it's hitting you, you're definitely gonna feel it. And but I think it's kind of funny, like the World Series Game 6, he's pitching like crazy. The score is 15-2 at the end of the game. So I mean, you tell me why this guy should have been the MVP of the World Series. Game on the line. If the Diamondbacks were to lose this game, obviously the Yankees win the World Series in 2001, but his pitching in Game 6 just was anonymous, and he had to pitch against Pettit twice, and he beat him both times.
I think he just won it. I think because Gonzalez the one that walked it off, right?
Yeah.
Walked off the series.
Well, sticking with the baseball thing, my number 5 is also a baseball guy, and it is not Bryce.
Why not? It should be.
Although, hey, we'll get there. Chill. I'm about to turn around and talk about my number 5 guy. And he absolutely happened to have worn number 5, which is now retired. Also, shocking, he played for one team for 16 seasons. His whole career. 14-time All-Star, too. And Rookie of the Year on top of it. An awesome catcher. Even turned around and got to co-host a baseball show on Saturday mornings to teach kids the fundamentals about baseball with one Tommy Lasorda. And that is Mr. Johnny Bench.
Yeah. I knew
That
you were going there.
is-
As soon as you said the TV show, I knew who you were talking about.
Yeah, a lot of us old timers kind of remember that.
Yeah. It was a good show too.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And a lot of different baseball people appeared on that show, which was really cool.
They should have had a second season. They only did like one season of that.
They did 4.
Did they really?
Yeah, they went through 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
I must have missed a whole bunch. I must have not even, because I remember watching it every weekend, but I didn't realize I watched it for 4 years.
Yeah, I know. It happens. All right. Akers, we'll start with you for 4.
He says no. Move to somebody else. Are you muted, George?
Did he freeze?
Did he freeze?
No, George's mouth is moving.
Oh,
You were
I
muted.
did.
No, you muted yourself. I already
Yeah,
was
I
already
did.
muted.
Yeah, because somebody wants to talk to me.
Oh, well, you
So
said
go
you were
with your
seeing your
number
mouth move.
4.
I said go because she's got the TV up loud real quick. Hold on. So go to the next person. I'll go back next one.
All right, Zolt, go ahead.
Oh, okay. We're ready for another NHLer, huh?
Yep.
What Red Wing do you have on this list, or what's number 4 for the?
Okay, number 4.
Where's Stevie Eiserman coming in? Is what the question is.
Hush yourself, sir. 918 points in 953 games. 2-time Stanley Cup winner. This guy could do things that I had never seen before with the puck, and I've never seen since. And that's how he got the name Magic Man, and that was Pavel Datsyuk.
I've never even heard of him.
Look at that look you just got because
know
of
Zoe.
that.
I know.
Hang on.
I know
hang on.
Zoe having
Let me
such a
let me
good
see if I
time.
have mute power. Shit.
Nope.
Zoe having such a good time with all his Detroit Red Wing players.
Dude,
What
Well,
I'm
we
about
gotta
to
wait
say-
for Eiserman to come up
What
here.
I'm about to
You
say
know
about
he's
the
coming up.
suck.
This is me growing up,
do you-
man.
Do you watch Secret Base, basically known as SB Nation?
I do not.
You should watch it. Unfortunately, they have one called The Collapse of the Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah,
Yeah, unfortunately. And it's boss your boy.
that's fine.
I would probably advise against watching that if you don't want to
Okay.
deal with heartbreak.
It's all right. It's all good. You leave Eiserman alone.
No, it's the way he got dead is the reason the collapse started. It wasn't nothing to him, like basically.
All right.
Who's next, George?
All right.
Who just went?
I did.
So,
Zolt.
I
All right.
said
Hold on. Yeah, I got it now.
Who's to go.
Yes. So, like, one of the guys I liked watching to fight was like the guy was a beast. All right, he's basically what made the concrete pad in the UFC. I mean, if you beat this guy, you were known for something. I mean, the guy's record was 46-9 in the UFC. He was just a beast. He wrestled bulls. All right. I mean, what else you got? This dude has his own camp called Matt Hughes Camp. The guy was a beast. Okay. I loved watching him fight. Very outgoing guy. He was always respectful to other people, even when they disrespected him. And in all the fights, he always got up, handshake, and hugged. So, you know, that was one of my best fighters I used to like to watch in the UFC.
Name of the fighter.
Who is it?
Matt Hughes.
Matt Hughes. He
Oh.
said Matt Hughes' camp.
I said, you know, he had a camp named after himself called Matt Hughes Camp.
I caught
He
it.
won it day one on his camp show was he walked into the steer pen and he says, what you got to do is grab the bull by the horns. And then he just legit wrestled the bull and then slammed the steer to the ground so hard. And it was so funny that he turns around and he says, see, it wasn't so difficult. Blood hanging all over his chest.
I just remember his rear naked choke of Frank Trigg. Like we just pulled it out of nowhere. Like had dude on like life support. I thought he was gonna die, but let that choke go.
Burrich went with Ted Williams as his 4. Chipper says Maddox. MJ's calling Ed Reed as his number 4.
Ooh.
That's a surprise. Okay. All right. Adam, how about you for number 4?
All right, my number 4 is actually a local guy. Went to Cleveland St. Joseph's or Villa Angela St. Joe's. It was a 1992 first round pick number 4. He was a Super Bowl champion, a Super Bowl MVP, and he's now one of the co-hosts on College Game Day. And that is Mr. Heisman himself with the pose, Desmond Howard. Go ahead, mute me. You got that look in your
Why?
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nothing but the most respect for that Cleveland man.
Well, the bad thing about it is he's got like over 10,000 yards in total return yards. He was a return man. Like his actual receiving yards in his career was only 1597. So it's like you obviously know what his role was on the team.
Right.
But he had 17 total touchdowns.
But he's also one of the reasons why Green Bay had a championship.
Yeah,
Yep.
won Super Bowl.
Yep. Absolutely.
They also parlayed to Al Davis overpaying him. So he's smart. He got paid too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably he's probably the one I actually have a Lombardi replica that's actually signed by him from that. That's probably one of my prized possessions that I'm never letting go.
They say he's a cool dude. Like even if you're not like from Michigan, he ain't gonna like treat you different. I mean, he one of the good guys. Apparently, what everybody says about him.
Well, that's how Michigan fans and people are. They're not like Ohio State fans and want to shit on everybody just because they go to their rival school.
No, that's not true.
No, we still hate you guys. It's true. Don't get me wrong. We do.
So
Are we moving on to 3?
it went. Well, I'm sorry. That's right. You called out. So that puts it into Dynamite Dave's hands.
What for 3 or 4?
4.
We're still at
Still be
4.
on 4.
We're still on 4.
I haven't done it either yet.
I got him then Suds.
I
All
haven't
right,
either.
so my number 4 is, I would say, the greatest running back of all time. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's fine.
Can you guys still hear me?
Oh yeah.
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 All right.
Yeah.
I went out for a second. Walter Payton, Super Bowl champion. Good old refrigerator Perry cost him his Super Bowl ring, but Walter Payton to me is the greatest running back of all time. He's my number 4.
Cost him his Super Bowl touchdown.
Yeah.
It's one of Mike Ditka's greatest regrets is not giving the ball to Walter Payton for 3 straight times, let him to get that in.
Dumbest move of all time. Dumbest.
Especially after the first one you couldn't get in. Which the first one, which I understand the first touchdown that Walter Payton didn't get with Jim McMahon. I get that one. But yeah, the one with William the Perry refrigerator, yeah, that one was like BS.
You put Walter
Yeah, well,
behind
you know,
William
it's-
Perry, and that goes straight through the line.
Yeah, well, there's
You could put Perry as a blocker and just have
Yeah,
him
that's what
take
I'm
out
saying.
3 people.
he's not the only stupid one. Pete Carroll did it too. Didn't run Marshawn Lynch and had Russell Wilson try to throw for a touchdown until some New England Patriot, Troy, intercepted it, and cost Seattle their Super Bowl. And oops. So yeah, the head coaches kind of have brain farts when they get down to the 1 to 2 yard line and don't want to use their running backs. It happens. Yeah. It happens all the time. Suds. 4.
So I'm glad I'm going last because number 4 is tied with number 3 on my list.
Well, I didn't go yet, but okay.
Okay, well, my bad. Well, number 4 is tied with number 3. Exactly right down the middle. There is no difference. I want to make this very clear because of who they are. They are 2-time national champions. They are 3-time All-Americans. And at one point in time in their senior year, when they were denied their national championship because of the stupid ass coach, she had a fit and threw her All-American trophy in the parking lot and left it there. And her big brother picked it up and put it in his car and kept it for about 10 years before she made a comment about wishing she had that trophy. And then I handed it back to her. My little sisters, Katie and Sarah Kern. That's 4 and 3.
Wow.
You saw it. I saw your face as soon as I started going at it.
I
I knew
knew.
exactly who it was.
I knew. I'll tell you what. And Mr. I don't know a whole lot about soccer.
Shut up.
Oh, no. This is where Suds knows his soccer inside and out. These girls killed in soccer. Killed.
Yeah, they dominated at every level they ever played.
Yep.
And I was at every soccer game,
Totally
traveling
killed.
hours out of this to watch them play.
Yeah, it was, and I was fortunate to see a game, and it was impressive as hell. I mean,
They're
it's
little
one of those
monsters.
things when you have a set of twins on a team where, yep, they just know where each other's going to be, whether it be basketball, football, baseball, or in this case, even soccer is even deadlier. So, yep, touche, Suds. My number 4 is I snuck his name out earlier, but it is Randy Moss. Is my number 4. Nice to know that Megatron's been compared to him, and he actually got to be in comparison and conversation with one Mr. Jerry Rice too. So it's nice to see that they're all going to be HOF. But yeah, my number 4 was Moss.
Well, he's probably, I'd give him probably the number 2 spot of all time in wide receivers. Right
Who,
behind
Moss?
Jerry.
Yeah, I can't argue that.
He's my number 3 on my list.
Well, then I'll let you roll right into number 3 with him, Dave.
Lord, you keep skipping me, bro. You skip me again.
No, I just went across. I went
Conspiracy.
across every damn box. How did I not?
Wow, and I changed my Zoom name for you, Joe.
No, wait a minute. No, hold on. Because that one was wasn't that just the same one that Zoltan or I had to go ahead because Akers wasn't ready and you went?
I didn't go.
No, he didn't go. I went.
Yeah, he went.
Akers wasn't ready. Zolt went.
Yes.
So Clint didn't go.
No.
Damn it.
Go ahead, Clint.
It's all right, George.
Clint, we're going to let you go 4 and 3 just so I don't screw it up again.
Oh, God. Oh, the pressure.
Oh, yeah, the heat's on now.
My number 4, I unfortunately didn't get to see play, but I've seen like a lot of old games and like his highlights. 317 batting average, 3,000 hits on the number, 240 home runs, 1,305 RBI, 15-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champ. He won an NL MVP in 1966, World Series MVP in 71, 12-time Golden Glove, 4-time batting champ. And my favorite baseball player of all time is Roberto Clemente. Also, after he died, his death basically rechanged the rule that a person has been deceased for at least 6 months is eligible entry into the Hall of Fame thing. So yeah, I mean, just something to play. Like I remember one time it was a play he was running, and the first base coach, he said, "Stop." This dude ran all the way to second, then he ran to third, seeing that the throw was gonna be off, and just went straight home. I was like, damn. And also probably that he got 3,000 on the nose, like literally like 3,000, like.
Which is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, so that's my number 4. Oh, wait, straight to number 3. I forgot.
Yeah, but you get to roll straight to number 3.
Well, number 3, I ain't gonna get no stats. My number 3, I'm just gonna say he's the greatest. I mean, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, rumble, young man, rumble. I mean, what can you say, man? Lost 3 years of his prime because of his stance with the Vietnam War. I'm not late.
And he was never a chicken shit and always went after. If you're number 1, he let you. He boxed you. He didn't shy away from anybody.
Yeah, he fought all comers.
Yep. More than once. And if you're gonna step in the ring with George Foreman more than one time, you got some balls.
Rope-a-dope, Ali Shuffle. He was one of the fundamental guys too. He used his jab a lot. Like he can throw some power shots, but that wasn't his thing. Though. It was just like
Burrich went with Peyton Manning as his 3rd. Chipper's Colin Hines Ward, his 3rd.
Homer pick.
That surprises me a little out of Chipper, but okay. Adam.
All right, bear with me. This is going to be very Acre-esque with all the stats I'm about to throw out here and all the accolades of this player. Another Ohio boy, won Mr. Football in Ohio, Big Ten Freshman of the Year, Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, Jim Thorpe Award winner, Chuck Bednarik Award winner, Bronco Nagorski Award winner, Walter Camp Award winner, and of course, Heisman Trophy and national championship, national champion in the same year. And to this day, I think he's still I think he is the last defensive player to win the Heisman, and that is the greatness of the one, the only Charles Woodson.
I'm sensing a theme coming out of your top 5.
You'll be surprised with the next two.
I'm
number one. You will be.
not going to even hate on him for Charles Woodson.
No,
I like
I'm
Charles
not
Woodson.
either. I'm not either.
Great as a corner, and then they like, well, since you can't cover the top guys no more, we're going to put you at safety. And they do nothing just win Defensive Player of the Year as a safety at a secondary position.
No,
then.
I'm just saying it's quite interesting that it's a couple of defensive players in this top 5. That's quite impressive.
Well, I mean, the thing that gets me is, I mean, you think back to that catch against Michigan State where he was damn near in the sidelines and somehow got it one-handed and still got the foot in bounds, or whatever. I mean, the dude was just a hell of a ball player. I mean, from high school all the way up through the NFL. You know what I mean? And now he's a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm. Going to the box. Akers. What'd you say?
My number 3 here. I mean, it's the baddest man on the planet. All right, watching this guy fight was one of the things I like to watch him. He just destroyed people left and right back in the late 80s, early 90s, until he decided to be a horny man and go inside that hotel room with that little girl and come out with a rape and losing all of his titles, and that's Mike Tyson. I mean, the guy's got a video game named after him. I mean, Iron Mike.
That hotel wasn't the reason Mike Tyson went on the downward spiral. That chick named Robin Givens. That's when Mike really went south.
He lost all his money to that woman.
Yeah.
A lot
that
of
sucks. I mean, the guy, and he's still trying to come back and fight. I really would like to see him actually fight, which would be something there. I mean,
He's just
the
playing
amount
with
of
his
own
pigeons at this point.
That's funny too,
clap it away.
because y'all know the reason Mike Tyson really got into boxing, right?
No.
Because his voice. He used to get picked on a lot because of the way he talked. That's the reason he got into boxing. So people want to constantly bully on him. I mean,
Yep. Well, not much of his talk, but he was like they joke around. Like they joke around. See, hold on. They joke around about reason why he was actually picked on is because he actually had pigeons when he was a teenager.
Oh God, yeah.
And that's one of the things that he still does today. And the speaking, the lisp and all that he has is actually another thing that just piles onto it. And at the age of 16, I think it's what it was, when he was a kid, he just pounded away at the bag and then basically worked himself up, being one of the strongest teenagers. And then I wish I had it. What was it? He has one of the fastest knockouts. As soon as they ring the bell, he comes out there, hits gloves, and then 2 hits, over and done with, walks off, of course, and then
that was the downfall of pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s. You didn't even get to go into the kitchen. The fight was over.
That was that was literally the meaning of like, you can't blink.
Mr.
Dynamite. In the first round, yeah. So.
Mr. Dynamite Dave.
We're on number 3, right?
Yep.
Randy Moss. He played with the Vikings, the Tennessee Titans, the Raiders, the 49ers, the Panthers, and again for Minnesota. I say he's probably I think he's the second greatest wide receiver of all time. He had, 21 touchdown catches in the Super Bowl year when they went undefeated. Unfortunately, didn't get a ring. Randy Moss.
Daddy, when are you going to come?
Yeah.
Suds.
I mean, man, according to Tony.
I already did number 3.
He already did 3.
Yeah,
he did 3 and 4
number 4
together.
was a tie.
Just let me finish talking. It's like, Suds, I know you covered your 3rd, so we're going to skip to Zolt and go to 3.
All
right. My number 3, Hall of Famer, 4-time Stanley Cup winner. As a defenseman, put up 1,100 points in 1,500 games. 7-time Norris Trophy winner as league best defenseman. when he retired at 41, was still considered the top defenseman in the game and the best one-on-one shutdown defenseman. He's a guy that when I played, I tried to pattern my game after, despite having 1/1,000,000th of the talent. That's Nicholas Lidstrom.
And the size.
Well,
He was also on that
there's
collab
that.
episode too.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. It basically starts from 96. Yeah.
You can have all the talent in the world, but if you ain't over 6 feet tall,
Oh,
you're
no.
probably not going very far.
I did okay in the beer leagues.
So
That's because they
Muzzy
saw
wasn't.
2 of you, didn't know which one to defend.
Hey, whatever works, man.
Right?
Got to play with what you get.
You didn't drain it.
No.
All right. My number 3 is the Chargers' lost effort in their quarterback, and it was the New Orleans Saints retrieval and revival, and that is one Mr. Drew Brees. And scarily on how that between him and Brady, they're both pushing the 1-2 spots for 80,000 yards plus for a quarterback in their career, which I know when the NFL pretty much was even relegating to the forward pass, they would never think that someone might actually be almost close enough to turn around and say, yeah, you were almost 100,000 yards eventually. But these two guys are really pushing the envelope. I don't think that even Montana or Marino even thought that this feat was going to be accomplishable. So, but no, my number 3 guy is Mr. Drew Brees.
Probably greatest pregame prep talks ever, bro. That little hoop thing he used to do. At the end of like every statement.
And MJ chimes in on Peyton Manning as his 3rd. Clint, we'll come back to you for number 2.
He's just doing that so he don't forget your ass again.
Hey, yeah, that's exactly
I
what he's
know.
doing.
I'm hitting
I
the
know.
button right over now. The hell it is.
I know. Number 2, 4-time NBA champion, 4-time Finals MVP, 4-time MVP, 17-time All-Star, 13-time first team, 2-time second team, even made a third team, 5-time defensive first team. Hey, I gotta keep running down all the man stats. My number 2 is LeBron James. Also, the man won a damn championship, like here. So, like, damn
After he said he would.
it. So, damn it, he's on this list. And he did it from 3-1. 3-1.
Still the only team to ever do it.
3-1. So, and then just everything he just does, like, outside of the sport. Like, he built the school, he built another school. His stance on social issues, like, he really used his platform for more than just game, basically. Like, so, yeah. I have LeBron at 2. The king.
Adam.
Well, this one doesn't really need no introduction. I mean, 7-time Super Bowl champion, 5-time MVP, the GOAT, Tom Brady.
Good old GOAT Brady. I try saying the word to Shannon Sharp every time. I like the way he said, good old GOAT. It's just the way.
I mean, you know it's a good thing when
Good
Joe
old
Montana
GOAT Brady.
Joe Montana tells you, hey, man, keep playing as long as you can, you know?
Yeah. And if he keep tossing that Lombardi trophy the way he was tossing it, he probably going to play a couple more years.
He's got 6 other ones. He didn't need that one.
He could just go into his closet and pull out his backup.
Right.
Yeah.
I would have just loved to have seen if they actually would have threw it in, like how many people would have dove in trying to get to that
Oh,
damn
God,
thing.
if he would have threw it in the
You
water.
know that tight end was going in
Oh, yeah.
because he would never play in the league again if he didn't jump in and grab that trophy. He doesn't have a lot of stock to be dropping the trophy into the ocean. Gronk could have got away with it, but not him.
Right.
Akers.
My number 2 is probably the guy who's ever played the longest for 22 seasons in a row in MLB history. Watching him grow up, I have a baseball signed by him back in the 1983 World Series. Actually, I got an autograph by him now that's just current in the Hall of Fame ball. And shortstop, third baseman is in the Hall of Fame as a shortstop. And that is Cal Ripken Jr.
Iron Man.
Iron Man Mike.
Mr.
Yeah.
Dynamite Dave. Hey, you got to follow up that one. That's a pretty good one. But
All right. Well,
you're up
I
next,
got
sir.
I got a guy who's probably the second greatest basketball player in North Carolina history. He's played with the Toronto Raptors, the New Jersey Nets, the Phoenix Suns, the Orlando Magic, the Kings, the Hawks, the Grizzlies, the Mavs, and my favorite North Carolina Tar Heel of all time, Mr. Vince Carter.
He should have just done the teams he didn't play for.
I was gonna say,
Jesus, right? I was looking at all them teams. I'm like, damn, he played for all them teams.
He's also the only NBA player that can collect Social Security at the same time as he's playing.
No, this is the fun thing about Vince Carter. I think I read this right. He's the only NBA player to play in 3 decades.
You're right.
yeah,
90s, 2000, and 2010.
yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Half
that's-
man, half amazing, man. Yeah. Athletic freak. was Vince
Yeah,
Carter.
I think he's the second greatest North Carolina Tar Heel of all time.
And he was eligible to get his COVID test or his COVID shot early.
And you know what else sucks is he's never been on a championship team.
That's that. Yeah.
You'd think he'd chase after it.
He
Like
did. They were in the finals with Jason Kidd and Keith Van Horn, and when Byron Scott was our head coach of the Nets. Richard Jefferson was on that team, but they just couldn't win.
You'd think he'd try to jump in with LeBron or somebody.
Yeah,
Just to
you
try
think,
to get it.
but I don't know, man.
He's
Suds?
one of those guys that deserves one.
Me?
Deserves a damn
Yeah.
one.
All right. Well, I've gone with my grandfather, I've gone with my brothers, and I've gone with my twin sisters. And if I leave this young man out, he's going to.
What he don't know won't hurt him.
Yeah. Well, he's here.
Oh shit!
Oh, damn.
I tried to have your back.
He's in.
I have to go with number 23. The smallest man on the football field every time he steps on the field. He gives out at least half of his weight to the kids on the team. And he's trying as hard as he can. He's getting tougher every time. It's my little boy, Gabriel. So that's it.
Bird
highly-
with Larry Bird. Mr. Zolt.
All right, my number 2 has already been mentioned.
Hold on a second. How far is the beer pong gone?
Oh, it's over. It's
Oh.
over. The show's over.
I heard. I was gonna say. I actually heard about when you were typing something about it. I heard they were beer ponging for the fantasy controlled football draft.
No, they were just doing it on the field. That's what the players were doing while they were waiting.
While they were waiting to be drafted.
No, these are the guys already drafted. They're just kind of standing around. They're not doing much. They're just
They're
waiting.
playing beer pong.
It was like life-size beer pong. It was
Johnny
like
Manziel, like,
garbage
trade me,
cans.
trade me, trade me. That's Johnny Manziel.
And they had that out there. They had cornhole out there. Just you got to pass the time.
Chipper says Troy Polamalu. MJ says Undertaker was his number 2, which was a real
Legend.
one. That's not a bad one to have.
Rest in
Not bad
peace.
at all. Mr. Zolt, you're a deuce.
My number 2, like I said, he's already been said here on the program. I have him on here the same reason that I have Pavel Datsuk on here is he did things I've never seen anybody do before. And that's Barry Sanders. I don't know if I've heard anybody before that where he'd make a juke and all of a sudden it became like an ankle breaker. you would see the defender just crumble. Like, I don't know how to try to tackle this guy. And
Make people look silly.
yeah, he made guys look like idiots. Just that I'm just going to go around you and pretend you're just not
Professional
there.
guys look like idiots.
Yes. And for what it's worth, I mean, he was literally the lone bright spot in Detroit Lions the past 50 years.
he made it worth watching the Thanksgiving Day games.
He made it worth watching.
If only
had
they would have
nothing
had a
else on that
quarterback when he was in there. They
Or an
they had
O-line.
a squad.
I mean, he ran 20 yards across the line of scrimmage because there were no holes,
Yeah, if they
Ah.
wouldn't have had Scott Mitchell, they might have actually done something.
But yeah, that was my number 2. It's just unbelievable watching him play. And yeah, I mean, he'd get bottled up because there's nowhere for him to go, and then next thing you know, boom, there's a 50-yard run.
He's one of them guys that, like, you think you got him down, then all of a sudden he squirts out of nowhere. Like, how the hell did he get out of that pile?
Yep.
Wasn't there one? I remember one play where somebody picked him up and was slamming him to the ground, and he ended up landing on his feet. Like, they literally were like doing a body slam, and they swung him over, and he landed on his feet and kept on going.
Kept running. It was unbelievable watching him.
Yeah, it was pretty damn cool. Like when I moved up there in the 90s, I was like, damn, this dude is insane. I mean, you want to talk about having the Madden control before there was Madden controllers.
Yep.
He basically was NFL Street when you hit the game breaker.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what it was. Like, you hit that game breaker and you just run around, just do moves. Just they can't tackle you. Then once the game breaker gone, you're just gone. Yeah.
My number 2, I didn't know, living down here in Cleveland, it's not too much as far as hockey went. So, of course, when I moved up into Michigan in the 90s, getting my hockey education from a few good friends up there was, especially because my buddy Tommy was a floor hockey goalie, actually for a college. And one night at the Y where I was working at, these guys actually rented out the gym. And he told me to stick around. They needed somebody to play goalie. And he's like, here, just get in the pads. All you got to do is pretend you're being like a catcher. He goes, and just stop everything. Here's a stick. Here's a glove. You'll be fine. Not telling me that what they did was they took those nice regular rubber hockey pucks and injected them with water to make them a little bit harder, heavier, and they could hit them a lot damn faster. And especially off of a gym floor. Zolt knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, yeah, it's a perfect replica for an actual hockey puck.
Yeah, that's some evil there.
Just as bad. They hurt just as bad. But I fell in love with the position, and I said, dude, this is awesome. And they let me turn around and jump in to play goalie a lot more often. I really took a liking to the position, and watching a lot of the Red Wings and watching hockey just in general, learning the rules, learning the game. But there was one particular goalie I just said, the dude's almost like an octopus. He's got no spine. He's like a slinky. I was like, he just like, well, fold right out. I was like, dude, that human body isn't supposed to do that. But yet this guy did it. And I was like, man, that is quite impressive. Nor did he even wear a traditional goalie mask. He opted for a helmet with the cage. And I said, that's quite different. And I thought it'd make it a little harder to see. But Apparently not for this guy. And he's got several Stanley Cups under his belt because of it. And predominantly actually got to play with the Red Wings not once, but twice. And that is, but more famously known as the Buffalo Sabres goalie. That is
Hasek.
one Dominic Hasek, who I did not know at the time, but was actually originally drafted by the Chicago Blackhawks before he actually went over to Buffalo. So, yeah, my number 2 is one Mr. Dominic. He is one of my favorite goalie players, one of my favorite hockey players. And like I said, when I fell in love with the goalie position itself, this guy was just awesome to watch. I mean, I could watch a highlight reel for a couple hours easily. He was just that fun to watch.
Yeah, he could make saves that you had no idea how he got there.
Houdini.
He's, you're moving one way across the ice and suddenly the puck's on the other side. And somehow, I mean, you're on ice and somehow he would still just completely reverse his
Trajectory.
body momentum and just be there. And it's like, how do you do that?
In the splits, you swear the dude's got no balls. No nuts. It's splitting.
We went there.
Yeah. Hey, it's after 10. Guess what?
I'm not going to say he doesn't have them. I can tell you they're frozen.
and they stop pucks.
Yes, they do.
And they have stopped pucks. They have stopped quite a few hockey pucks. It's like, oh, whoops, yeah. So, yeah. Hi, Piper. All righty, on to our numero unos. Clint, go ahead, sir.
Start numero uno. We're going back to the UFC round for this numero uno. Dub I'll say probably the greatest UFC heavyweight of all time. I'll add the honor and privilege to be there for that UFC 203 fight in Cleveland, Ohio here. When he got knocked down early, came back and won. That's one Stipe Miocic. As we all know, diehard Clevelander, he reps Cleveland through and through. Still works as a fighter and independent when he's not training. Also, the thing I like that his fight against Ngannou, when he felt so disrespected because the UFC didn't get behind him, and when he knocked Ngannou out, well, he ain't knock him out. He won by decision. And Dana White does the thing where he go to put the belt over you. He said, no, give me that. Gave it to his manager, had his manager put the belt around his waist. So that's just that Cleveland again, like, oh, you ain't that Cleveland versus the world mentality. Like, okay, then, well, fuck you then. I have him put the belt around my waist because he actually thought I can win this fight. So, I mean, also, fun fact, that 203 fight, CM Punk was there too. And his theme song was, his entrance was longer than his fight. He did come out to call the personality, by the way. But had everybody singing it. But yeah, so that's my number one.
Adam, oh, I'm sorry. Are you good, Adam, or no?
Yeah, I'm just making sure somebody's trying to be quiet because she's getting into that restless stage where I've been away from her for too long. But my number one is he was the 8th overall pick in the 2017 draft. He was he holds, I think the record still stands for the most all-purpose yards in a season with 3,864. And he's one of 3 players to have a 1,000 yard rushing and 1,000 receiving yards in the same season. And that's the one, the only Run CMC, Christian McCaffrey.
I know he was number one.
Duh.
Damn.
I know. I already knew it. Like, yeah.
That was too easy, right?
Man, I hang around you too much, man. Run CMC, understand.
Mr. Akers.
Justin Tucker.
My number one was pretty hard to do because I mean these two guys pretty much compared to each other. They both have Super Bowl rings. They both had the same position. So, you know, it was kind of hard to not put in Matt Stover and Justin Tucker. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
We assumed that you were right. That's what I was guessing.
Yeah, well, all right. Well, those
No, I'm just
are
joking.
kickers.
My number one was actually Ken Griffey Jr. I loved watching him, especially at the home run derbies. The guy put on a show. Someone as much as young as he did in his dad's shoes and then go to Cincy wearing his dad's number, still producing what he could do. You know, I wish there was one thing I could actually see. I've watched him in numerous of games at the Jake, but I've never seen him live hit a home run. I've seen him 4 times at the Jake, and I've never once seen him hit a home run. That's actually probably one of my
He also
only
made it
things
cool
I'd
to
watch
start
with
wearing the
him.
baseball hat backwards.
Yeah. That home run derby was killer.
Like,
I
he's
mean,
the
like
reason everybody started wearing their hat
boom.
backwards. It was Ken Griffey who started that.
He had such a smooth swing too as that lefty. You know, I mean, I mean, obviously with his dad helping him out in the batting career, but for his lifestyle that he had, it sucked. You know what he had to do from Seattle to Cincy, and then you know basically back finish up in Seattle to retire the number 24. But yeah, he's one of the probably one of the best baseball players I actually got to watch throughout the years of growing up.
Well, this is my question for you. That's just for everybody, because I'm a firm believer the answer is yes. If Ken Griffey do not have all them knee injuries during Cincinnati, is he the all-time home run leader?
That is a good
I think he
possibility.
is.
I think he would have
I
been
think he
too.
would be.
And that's why I said like it. And the best thing about this is he's doing all that without steroids.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
and obviously we know
All
with him
him.
being out in center field and left field, or I mean on right field, you're going to have knee damage. You know, for what he has to do. I mean, it's just an ominous of what the batting stance he had. Everything was drawn up in the power, and I mean it made the pitchers change how to actually pitch to him, because if you did pitch in his wheelhouse, there was no way that ball was coming back to your glove. You let him get a rip one, and that ball is a souvenir to whoever wants to have it.
I mean, think about too how much ground that dude covered in the outfield.
Oh, I know. That's one of the things with him and his speed. It's where he was a center fielder, and I mean, then that's what I said. Like you said, Kenny Lofton. You know, center fielders back in the day took so much body damage hitting the wall, sliding the ground, and covering the gaps just from left or right. It's, you know, you may not have just been the leadoff guy. You were there at the top for a reason because you can get on base. But his was he was one of the top 4 guys is just because he was a home run hitter. I mean, it does suck. Like you said, Clint. I mean, with the knee surgeries and all that, I would love to have seen him actually get into that title. I mean, it's something we'll never be able to answer, you know.
Could you imagine if it had been like you know, the McGuire, Sosa, and Griffey, like all 3 and Bonds all at the same time going through it? Like how much more exciting baseball would have been at that time?
At one time, well, that's the funny thing. At one time, it was until Griffey injured his back.
The 98 chase.
Yeah, that was the
Sosa and
year
McGuire. Yes, it was
yeah.
the 3-way. Griffey was hanging in there too till he got hurt.
Yep.
They had that slump towards the end of the season that took him out.
Yep, Griffey was killing it that year. And what year was that? Because he had 48
It was
home
98. I
runs
think that was
and
the year.
99. No, that was Seattle.
Chipper turned around and of course put Chipper Jones, of course, his namesake. You know,
He had 56 home runs.
was
He had
gonna be a
56
no-brainer.
home runs in 98. You know, like I said, he went back-to-back seasons with 56. 97 and 98 had 56 home runs, and then followed up the next season with another 48, and then basically started going downhill from there. To tell you that he was, you know, going through the pauses of injuries for what he had to do. But yeah, I would love to see that too. Total home runs he actually has is 630
All right,
in
there
20
he
like
is.
in 22 seasons.
Sorry,
He
No,
couldn't have
that's
did
all
it.
right.
I believe he would have did it. And
my
it just
power
sucks.
went out.
I think you're right.
Shit.
I'd like to see that too.
It
I would
sucks
love to
that
see that,
like
you know. And
because he
that's the
did. He
same
said
thing
he
we
did it
always say about a
clean.
lot of these players. You know, we get these guys that've gone to like Jim Kelly, 4 Super Bowls in a row and can't win a Super Bowl. You know, and Griffey is smashing the shit out of the balls and done this without steroids, and he goes through all these injuries. You know, what I mean,
All right, we got to keep moving here.
keep going.
Dynamite Dave, you're up next. You're number 2.
Already did my number
one.
2.
Or I'm sorry, you're number 1.
All right, my number 1 is he is perhaps the greatest video game athlete of all time. He was a first pick. He basically had a game named after him in 2 sports. His football career got cut short by a Cincinnati Bengals tackler, and that would be Mr. Bo Jackson. He is your 2000, or he batted 250, had 250. He had 141 home runs, 415 RBIs. He rushed for 2,782 yards and 16 touchdowns in 3 years. Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, who doesn't like Bo? 2 words are that if you don't know, Bo knows.
Especially in techno.
Right.
Bo was the man back in the day, and he helped Nike along with Michael Jordan to put their name back on the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember them commercials. That's crazy. On the play, he dislocated his hip. Didn't he still score a touchdown?
No, you went right
He didn't score a
down.
TD?
You went right down.
Ah. I got that just I don't know. I just imagine Bo Jackson like, oh, okay.
And
Well, my hip dislocated. I'm still
Brian
gonna score.
Bosworth is scared of him.
Who?
Brian Bosworth.
Yes, he is.
Very much so.
One of the most iconic moments ever.
Okay, so I've run out of siblings.
And kid, almost kids.
Here comes Matt
siblings.
Millen.
So this one George knows very well. It's a wrestler. George, can you guess?
No.
Trisha Stratus.
Knew it. I fucking knew it.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't gonna ruin it.
Knew
I
it.
had to leave it.
No,
I
I
don't care.
knew it
You don't
because
have to do a damn thing in that ring.
I-
Just be in there.
I told Phil I'm gonna work on trying to get him something with Trish, like an autograph.
Damn.
Get a cameo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can do that. Might do that. But he don't know how to work technology though.
Get a what?
You'll figure it out if she calls.
Yeah,
Clint,
that
if you're getting
No,
him
you heard the cameo?
if you're getting him a cameo for
You'll
Trish,
get one of
you gotta-
Mandy Rose.
okay, all right, I was just checking.
What's a cameo?
Scarlett.
Hold
Pick
on.
your choice.
Okay,
Nope,
So-
nope, can't tell him.
you can't tell
Yeah,
him?
you
Yeah,
got
he'll
to.
just look it up.
Yeah, I can
So
work
cameo
my cell phone.
basically is you can pay basically a certain amount for a celebrity to give you like a message or something.
Yeah, they'll do a personalized message. For you.
Personalized
like a
message.
shout out.
Like if you
Like
want
a-
Trish
like a
Stratus
birthday
to tell you
thing.
happy birthday,
Yeah,
you'll find her on cameo,
Oh, hell
you'll
yeah,
pay the money,
baby.
she'll personally wish you a happy birthday.
If you decide to
Just
do it,
send
though,
pictures.
can you please have Trish just literally call up and just say "suck it, suds" and then hang up?
Oh God.
We are after
No,
dark. That
make,
one-
I was gonna
He
say
wouldn't
number one.
mind. He
If
wouldn't
that
care.
happens,
Oh,
you damn well better make sure it is after dark because the response is going to be after dark worthy.
The words would be, hell yeah, I will. Uh-huh. Yup. Okay.
oh boy.
You just
Oh,
chip in. We should all just chip in and just give a Trish Stratus cameo.
oh my God. Oh
You
man.
doesn't have to say a damn thing. Just send a picture.
No, the thing is, I can write in the message what I want her to say.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not going there, boy.
So what I write for her to say, she'll
Oh,
say
come on.
you.
Not that it would get you in any trouble with the missus. No, not at all.
No, she knows. Denise knows. She knows exactly
Oh,
what
I
Trish
know.
status is. She knows exactly where I stand on it. She'd be like, yeah, figures. She'd be
Yeah.
okay with it. This is my wife will go strip clubs with me. I'm good.
Yeah. Oh, Mr.
She's on the list of ones that are okay.
Hall pass.
It's the
Yes,
whole,
hall pass.
She Mrs. Steal Your Girl.
That's like the only that's the only person in the hall pass category is her. And it just keeps it's 1 through 10 and it keeps on saying her.
Mr.
Okay.
Paul, you're up for number 1, sir.
To be honest, if you're paying attention to my list, number 1 isn't going to be a huge surprise.
I already said it.
3-time Stanley Cup winner, Hall of Famer, numerous awards, over 1,700 points in 1,500 games, and the best part is his game only got better when he toned the offense down a little bit and got his entire team to buy into a defensive outlook. Was named the youngest captain in Detroit Red Wings history, spent his entire 22-year career. I don't remember where the saying comes from, but there's the saying that, men are only allowed to cry at funerals, the birth of their kids, and when their sports figure retires. When Yzerman retired, that was a rough day. So, yeah, Steve Yzerman.
We all saw it coming. It's all right.
Hey, no surprises there.
No, it wasn't. I called it like on number 4
Yeah.
or 5.
That's why he told you to
That's why I
shut your
kept having
mouth.
a collapsed episode because I already knew. By the way, was Ken Holland was the reason that Yzerman.
Yes, yeah. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, hey, let's face
So
it.
if you watch
Steve
the
Yzerman.
So if you watch
came
it,
back
you already
home.
know where it's going to lead
I
to.
mean, Yzerman came back home, and the organization had to
He did.
make the decision to put Holland out to pasture, or also ship him off to Edmonton, which is the same thing,
Yeah.
and bring Steve Yzerman home as your GM. And I'm really hoping that it works out because we've been wanting this for a long time now.
I think it will.
I hope so.
Think it will.
Hey, I gotta jump off here because my earpiece is about to die. It's screaming in my ear. So
Yeah, I
I'll
was
see
gonna
you
say,
guys
we're
next
just
time.
about ready to wrap this up. And
Well,
my
who's your number 1?
you don't know who my number 1 is? You didn't guess it?
I know. I think I'm pretty sure
I
I
was
got
waiting
it.
for. I was talking about him. I thought
Akers.
Akers. Akers.
Oh,
was
he
number
wasn't.
1?
He
Said
wasn't
Ken
on.
Griffey. Where were you?
He wasn't
Oh,
on.
Off. He got booted.
Yeah, you booted you lost your
I
power.
joked around just for him, and he wasn't even on. Son of a
Yeah.
gun.
I was gonna say mine's the only one left. And
I hope it's your son.
I hope it's that 4-foot midget.
no, nope. The best wide receiver of all time.
Yeah, right.
Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice is number 1 on my list.
Bryce is going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Didn't even make the top 10 of your favorite athletes.
I'm
He
a-
got to have something to shoot for.
That's true.
I
Hey,
think
you-
George.
They don't
Motivation.
have.
I think George
Start
does
doing
the
breaks
Brits and
at
he gets his
okay.
ass kicked by the
You
kids all the time.
remember earlier in the show when George went
Jose
away and
was
muted
playing with it
his
earlier
mic?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was telling Bryce, "I'm not picking you, so you go lay down and take it this easy."
I told
No.
him, you're not on the list. Go hit the shower.
George
Just
basically
came
pulled
back in from baseball practice. I said, you're not on the list. Go hit the shower.
it's one of those. There's no being the dictatorship. There's no participation trophies here. All right, go.
Yeah.
Earn it.
Second place is first loser. Key word.
I just think
loser.
George is upset because he can't beat his son at bowling anymore.
What? Just because
Uh-oh.
he's been around a bowl another 500?
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah, I'm gonna
he's now
run too. 5 o'clock comes early.
He turned 10.
All right,
and
guys.
he's got 10.
Thanks for having me on. It was a blast.
Dave, thank you very much. For those who are unaware, this is our last Red Line broadcast. At the moment, I've got a very full schedule coming up, and things are going to change, and we're going to condense down some things, and we've got a few things moving around. So I want to thank Dave wholeheartedly for, letting us be a part of the Red Line family. And I know I'll still be around to turn around and pop in and, help out when I can. And, I know I'm still being a voice on Hot Tag too. So I appreciate that, Clint. Thanks. And I'll
And
definitely
Rob call you the voice of God or something. Like we're just gonna record Jordan, just have like a voice recorder. Just have him talk.
But Mo, we'll turn around and reconnect later on or something. I really do appreciate it all, and it's been an absolute blast. And definitely look to having you guys on when we turn around and get things scheduled through again. So
No
thank you
problem.
very much for everything.
No problem, Jorge. I appreciate all the stuff that you guys done. Suds, Zolt, thank you guys for taking time out on your Wednesdays to hang out with George and come on Redline. Clint, I'll see you Friday at the studio, and then Sunday. Adam, I'll see you Friday. You guys have a good rest of your week, and you guys be safe. And thanks again, Jorge. Tell Bryce we said what's up, and
Will do.
have a good week, guys.
You
All right.
too. Thank you.
Thanks,
Hey,
Dave.
man.
See you guys.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I was gonna say 5 a.m. is gonna be there real soon.
If okay, so we're clear of number ones.
Yep,
We're
we are
done?
clear of the
Okay.
number ones.
I got honorable mention. That's going to mean absolutely nothing to nobody.
Dude,
Two of them. They both stem from the same incident. Guy by the name of Brian Gaynor and Dan Gillen. This is some like 12, 15 years ago when I got laid out in a hockey game, checked from behind into the boards, hit head first. Brian was my goalie, Dan was my defensive partner, and that guy who did it never saw them coming, and he should have.
That sounds like me on a hockey what's the name if I can skate. I don't need to score a goal. Let me just fight people all day. That's it.
I was out for a few seconds, and when I came to, Brian, the goalie, was on the guy's back, and Dan, my defensive partner, came up, already had his gloves off, literally grabbed Brian, threw him off the guy, spun him around, and just clocked him.
I would have held him up like you cool, get you a shot.
Yeah.
Get you a shot.
The best part is this was a no contact league. And our guys got 2 minutes for roughing. Their guy got kicked out. Yeah, just one of those things. Those guys had my back. That's certainly an honorable mention for favorite athletes.
Have teammates like that, man. That's legend right there.
That's awesome.
That is.
That is
like what? Oh, okay. Take the fight outside in the parking lot after that. Man.
The cops were called to make sure the guy got to his car and left.
Well, he had to get outside to make it to his car.
He got his ass on the ice.
I was gonna say,
what that mean?
There was security at the rink to make sure he got out to his car. To be honest, we finished the game. It was just there was a brief pause for a little bit. I mean, it was entirely blatant. His teammates
that warranted more reason for him to get his ass whooped outside of
the that's what I'm saying. It's like the game must go on, and
the game could still go on. That's what happens after the game.
And that guy was gone and never seen again. He got booted from every league he was in. So
wow.
It sounds like he should have been.
Yeah, it was basically full speed check from behind into the corner. And he literally put his stick across the small of my back and rode me in.
Oh.
So yeah, I hit side of my helmet and shoulder.
I'm surprised the whole team wasn't in on that one.
Yeah, it was one of those things. Like literally, there's two refs in those games. One immediately skated to me, ignored the guys that were going to town. The other one immediately went to the benches to make sure nobody left.
Oh,
It's like they just let the fight go until I actually started
They probably
moving,
knew
and
what he
then
did was messed up. They're like, oh yeah, he deserves that ass whooping.
I don't know what the hell he was thinking. I do not know what he was thinking. But it's just one of those things, like, everybody here goes to work tomorrow, man. It's like, you could have killed me.
yeah, that's not cool. Well,
I have one then.
shoot.
There was a college pitcher with the last name Vanette, and he changed the rules for Major League Baseball and for college. He was a switch pitcher. He had a specialty glove that allowed him to switch hands whenever he wanted to from right to left, and pitched in the games where if a batter came up right, he'd switch to his hand to the other hand and pitch to him. And at one point in time, he came up against a kid who was a switch hitter. And they went back and forth, and it went on for over 40 minutes, switching back and forth amongst hands. Whenever the pitcher would switch hands, the batter would switch sides. And they went back and forth for like a half hour, 40 minutes, going back and forth, which changed the whole way college and professional baseball was pitched, making rules that said pitcher has to commit to pitching one direction every batter.
That's where a scouting report come in like, okay, he want to switch, but we know he's a lefty. Okay, well, I can pitch from both sides. He can't hit from that right side, so okay.
And that's what he was doing. He knew who the coach would say, hey, throw right-handed or throw left-handed to this guy, and he'd switch. He had a six-finger glove. It's on YouTube. It's great because it was basically got into like a 45-minute argument.
Just switching back and forth.
Yeah, because he'd start right-handed, and so the batter would switch to the other side. So he switched to the other hand, and the batter would switch to the other side. It was like they were dancing for like 45 minutes.
Actually, and just a couple of years ago, there's Oakland A's pitcher Pat Venditti was.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, that's not the person. You had to turn around when he came up. He was called up. The rule was already in force that you had to turn around and commit which way you were pitching.
Yeah, because
that rule's been into effect a long time because Major League Baseball has had a few switch pitchers before. He's not the first.
He did. You can Google it. You see him on.
Yeah, I know. I had him as my fantasy pitcher for my closer. I know all about him. I know all about the whole thing. And he was 2-2 for his major league career, by the way. Yeah, I know all about him. Moving on from that, getting into our last topic, or I had two, but it looks like we got time for one. I know you guys probably didn't catch much of any of this ordeal, but Shefty had one Mr. JJ Watt on his podcast this morning. Oh, the information that was politically revealed, to be politically correct. Yeah, it was a bunch of BS. JJ Watt basically went to the Cards for the money because the Cards swooned him the most. The Cards were swooning him from the word go. So he turned around and, the owner of the Cards flew out to him. Let me emphasize when I say he flew out to him to pick him up. He's the pilot of his own damn plane. He flew out with his wife. He flew the jet. When you say you went out to fly out and pick up JJ Watt, he literally did. He flew out, flew the jet there, picked JJ up, and flew back to Arizona. Steak dinner, the whole 9 yards, rented out a whole back room of a big steakhouse to wine and dine him as he signed that wonderful contract.
Well, nobody else was going to pay him that money.
No.
Not any contender.
Hang on. This is a good contract. Let me explain why.
Shoot.
So
I know you're the numbers guy, of course.
it's 2 for 28, right?
No, I thought it was 2 for
2 for
32.
31.
Super 31.
I'm looking at 2 for 28 on the website that we use for this information. 2 for
Okay.
28. Cap hit this year is 8.5. Cap hit next year is 19.5. But his dead hit next year is only 11.5. He ain't playing after this year. They're going to cut him. It's a
Well,
1-year deal.
I thought that the news was that
It
he was
2
getting
for
2
31.
years,
Because at
$16
first
million
it was
a year.
32, and then they turned around and came back and they said no, it was 2 for 31.
What I'm looking at says 2
And it
for
was
28,
20
12 million signing bonus, 14 average salary.
23 is guaranteed.
I've got 20 flat is guaranteed. Oh, total guaranteed is 23.
Yeah.
At signing, it's 20. So we're just gonna hold this 3 million and then give it to you
Yeah.
later.
It's being held in escrow, collecting.
So he can make up to 32 million. The guaranteed is 23.
Yeah, total guaranteed is 23.
But he can make up to 32.
Okay, I'm looking at. Okay, so they say it's a 2-year contract that could pay up to 31 million, including incentives. And here are some of the incentives. Well, first of all, he get a $12 million signing bonus, which is 14.5 base value for the first year. 28 million over 2 years, max 31. He get 3 million based on sack incentives. If he get 10 sacks this year, he gets an extra 1 million and $1 million escalator for 2022. If he gets 10 sacks in 2022, he gets another million. So
And he got 5 whopping sacks last year. 4
I mean,
sacks.
okay, he's a free agent. He wants a longer deal, obviously. So you take a shorter deal with more money. And as far as the team is concerned, Arizona, this is a 1-year deal with a club option.
Yeah.
Because do you want to take a 19.5 cap hit on him next year? Probably not. I mean, hey, he might ball out this year. And if he does, maybe you do. But at the same time, the dead hit is $8 million less. So if you want to walk away after this year, walk away. Just
yeah,
cut
he
it.
only counts against 8.5 million off the cap.
Right.
They said for 2022 he can earn 13.5 million before the sack incentives even hit. But the
No,
6
don't get me
million
wrong.
pro rate from the signing bonus jump his hit up to 19.5 if he remains on the team next year.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
he got
so
his
they're
money.
basically going to cap. They're basically going to keep him for 1 year, then cut him.
Yeah.
It's basically a 1-year deal.
Yes,
They basically, if you suck this year, you're done. We're going to
Here,
release you.
let us give you $20 million. Play for us for a year. We're probably going to cut you after this year, but you know how it goes. We'll just space it out over 2, so it's not like astronomical.
Yeah, don't look as bad.
Well,
But then where did they go?
you just went to Arizona to die, is what you just did. He went to retire.
Well,
He went
Edgerrin James
collected
did
money.
the same thing.
What's that?
Edgerrin James did the same thing.
Yeah, he did.
You know, seems like a lot of guys do. Emmett Smith did.
Well, it's nice.
But Emmitt
weather
Smith
out there.
different. Emmitt Smith had 4 rings or 3. He got the right to take the money.
And Kurt Warner went there and then accidentally got to the Super Bowl again. You know,
It
I'm sure
definitely was an
everybody in
accident.
Arizona thought, wow, that was a fluke. You were good that year. What can we say?
Isn't that sad? A team accidentally goes to the Super Bowl. Lions can't accidentally make the playoffs.
I knew you were going there. I just, as soon as you said that, I knew where it was going.
You should.
I knew what the next sentence was.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It was perfectly set up. It was beautifully set up.
They also said J.J. Watt contract also sets the market for another guy who potentially might be released or a contract might get restructured. That's one Von Miller.
Well, Von's got a little bit more to worry about than football, right?
31 years old. I think
He's trying to avoid
said-
going to jail.
Yeah, Von's trying to stay out of jail at the moment.
I ain't know about that. I don't really pay attention to all them
He's
guys.
caught
All like
he's catching charges.
He's about to make Suds' list. Suds'
Yep.
squad. He's
what
about
do you
to
do?
be about to be part of Suds' squad. Fill him in, Suds.
I can't remember his charges at this point in time. I thought it was sexual assault.
Oh, that's not good. Oh, I see it. Domestic violence allegations made by the ex-fiance.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I didn't know if it was sexual assault, but
Allegations. So as of right now, it's basically wound down to a he say, she say, probably.
but of course.
Yeah, but they can't do it right now. The NFL is in the snowflake era, and they can't risk it. Not after Rice.
No. No, they can't. No, they cannot.
I mean, but you had the dude from Seattle that beat the holy hell out of his girlfriend. And Seattle waited like almost a week before they released him.
As you just pointed out, you didn't even say the guy's name. But everybody knows who Von Miller is.
Yeah, that's true. Your name do make a difference.
I mean, do we see if it wasn't the Ravens starting running back, Rice, do we ever see that video?
Kareem Hunt, same thing.
Right. You don't see
Either
that.
way.
If it wasn't the starting running back, do you see the video?
Yeah, no, you probably wouldn't. I mean, it was obtained by TMZ. They first released the video, so if it's celebrity based and TMZ can find a way to get a hold of it. But yeah, I mean, also I said the thing with Ray Rice, it's another guy I watched. He made a video about the whole thing with Ray Rice and his wife. They still together to this day. And he basically told the story from like both sides of the view, both sides of the view. But he's always objective with it to the point where like he got a message from Janae Rice basically like praising him for the way he did the video, saying like thanks for the way you put a situation out there, like it don't just make him seem like he's just the abuser, or like they said he at that time they said he was so hell bent on football, he just ain't really care about like anything personal. Like he said his focus was just on football. Like he neglected her, he did all that stuff like that. Then they said on the flip side, they said that she sometimes had a temper and he always get mad and they clash, stuff like that. Like
If
I'm
you
not
actually look
advocating
at the video, if you look at the video, and I don't condone this at all, by the way.
Yeah, I don't condone
She
it
actually
either.
took the first swing. She hit him first.
They also took another thing he said what they don't mention in the video is that they was with a bunch of other people. And they got into an argument at that time. And they was arguing as they both left towards the elevator. They've been arguing all night. He said, why didn't none of the other friends around them, they had a feeling that something might happen. Why they didn't just like somebody go with Ray, you stay, let her go like that. They just let them both leave. So, I mean,
he probably should never have gotten his smart move on his part. He should never have gotten that elevator at that point. And
yeah,
and kept his distance.
No, that's what he's saying. Yeah, but he's saying like around all them people. That's like if we all out, and I'm with like, say I'm like with a girlfriend or something, and we arguing a lot. Like, I feel like y'all know me pretty well. Like, and y'all be like, okay, this is going to another level. Like, and then we both leave. Based on the way the whole night went, I don't think y'all would have us leave together. Not, like you'll just, okay, you go. Let her go. You crash with me for the night. Cooler heads prevail, blow over, and then y'all talk about it in the morning. Because they said they was arguing like from Jump Street. Like, as soon as they got in the club, around the whole group of friends, they were just going back and forth all night. like, all night. So
And I wonder if he wasn't at the end of his career, whether or not it would have been the same response by the NFL. Because he was on his way out in the first place. He had had a really bad running year in the first place. I'm wondering if he would have even made the roster at that point in time.
anyway, back to JJ Watt. Yeah, he took the money.
Yeah,
Really.
but I mean,
Like,
I mean,
everybody knew it. And you're right, wasn't none of the contenders gonna pay him
Well,
him that much.
Buffalo, Green Bay, and Cleveland were the other three that were involved in the conversations. But
They said Buffalo never had the money. Buffalo would never had the money to pay him.
Buffalo, right? Buffalo was willing to turn around and do something longer term. They were talking like a 6-year contract.
Yeah, he wasn't gonna play
And
for
he
no 6
wasn't-
years for one
He
team.
wasn't, yeah, he wasn't going to be doing 6 years. You know, he's
They said his
probably
wife
looking
wanted
at
him to go to
something that's like
Chicago.
3 to 4 is what he was looking at. Was something about 3 to 4, but he wanted 3 to 4 and still getting a little bit of pay. And Cleveland and Green Bay basically, you know, we've seen the stats, and it's like, yeah, it wasn't going to happen, you know. And of course, they're not looking to really take a flyer on a guy who just finally put a full season together after being injured the season prior, and then being injured 2 years before that, never even played. So yeah, it was.
Yeah.
These guys want this guaranteed money because they're afraid that they're going to get hurt, and they just want to keep getting paid. And at some point in time, the NFL is going, you know what, dude, you kind of broken. I mean, JJ Watt's not somebody you can say, hey, we'll guarantee a 6-year contract. Well, dude, you haven't played 3 years in a row since getting into the league. Every time you turn around, you're getting hurt. We can't take a risk of you getting injured again. Again, we give you a 6-year deal. What's going to be interesting right now is what they're going to do with Dak Prescott. Be interested to see what they end up doing with him. I mean, that's a serious leg injury he has. They're saying he's going to be 100%, but you know who's saying it? Not the Dallas Cowboys. It's his doctor. It's his agent saying it, and he's saying it. You know, we have to see what ends up happening here.
Jerry
Because they're
Jones
looking to
gonna use that
franchise
as an
tag
excuse
him.
not to pay him. That's
I was
what
going to
it
say,
is.
Dallas is negotiating with him. They're not going to say he's 100%.
Well, he's
at
not
the
gonna,
end of the day,
he's going to say the 100% because he's negotiating too.
right, exactly. So we don't know what the hell's going on.
Right.
But at the end of the day, Dallas franchises him again.
Yep. 32
Yep.
million.
End of the day. That's
Yeah. I agree. He get tagged again.
Does he play?
Does he? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, he play.
absolutely. Did you happen? I was gonna
See
say,
his numbers last year before he got hurt.
I had him.
yeah. I was gonna say, Zol had him.
I know
going to
very well
play.
what he was doing.
He's literally going to play for a. He's literally going to play. And you know what's funny about it is that you could have signed him last year, but now you got Baker Mayfield, you got Josh Allen, you got Lamar Jackson. Now you really gonna have to go out of pocket to pay Dak now. They should have took care of this after Dak's 3rd year in the league under his rookie deal. That's when they should have talked to him about extension. No,
But they
Jerry Jones
chose
wanted to
Elliott
wait.
over him.
They could have paid him before Zeke.
Yeah, I know.
But
They
he wasn't
chose
gonna
Elliott
pay
to pay
Dak
Elliott first.
You wasn't gonna pay Dak $35 million like after that 3rd year what he was doing now. So you could have worked something out with him then. But Jerry Jones waited. Then that's when Dak had a season. He's like top 5, like everything passing. He played himself out their pocket. He played himself out of the Cowboys' pocket basically.
At the
Now
same
he like,
time,
you gotta
though,
pay me.
if your choice is between paying a quarterback and paying a running back, you have to pay the
I have to
quarterback
pay the quarterback. Yeah.
because running backs
Don't
How
have a
long
long
do they
shelf life.
last?
Zeke look like he's starting to get broke down
I was
already.
gonna say Zeke just fell off the damn
was
end of the
gonna say.
world this year.
It's like you paid him, and that's exactly what was going to happen. And it was.
Most running
it's
backs
one of
don't get
those
them big,
things. That's
massive
why I
2-year
skipped him.
contracts.
I skipped on his ass except in one draft. Out of all the drafts, I was like, "Yep, I did."
But at the same time, though, he was playing good until Dak went down.
Yeah.
After Dak went down,
Well,
that's
after
when
Dak
Zeke
went
just
down, it was Andy Dalton.
yeah.
Yay.
You can't
What
win
did
with
he
Andy
do?
Dalton. Like Andy Dalton don't scare me
Who
enough to
was
where
and who was it after
I could
Dalton?
have him beat me. No,
Ben DiNucci.
Sure.
he
It was
played
the
better than
rookie.
Andy Dalton the one time. Gary Gilbert almost beat Pittsburgh.
They
Should have
went
kept
to
him.
they went to put in Ben DiNucci, hoping to see a Patrick Mahomes.
Ben DiNucci,
Joe
man. The
Burrow.
name don't man. The name sounds like a foreign car. His name don't
Herbert.
even sound like a football name.
DiNucci.
DiNucci. That
It's
sounds like
Italian. Hey,
that's like that's like a Prada bag or something.
Hey.
You can buy your girl some
Papali
DiNucci.
isn't. Papali doesn't sound like one either. But guess what? He did all right for a walk-on with the Eagles, didn't he?
Who?
Vince Papali. He's like, don't mess with the Italians now, Clint. You get yourself in trouble. Be careful.
Andy Dalton. Oh, DiNucci's Italian.
Yeah.
DiNucci? Are you kidding me?
No, didn't know that. Anyway, it don't
DiNucci.
matter. He still suck. His name sound like a Prada bag or like a designer, some designer would make. DiNucci, like he should have went in fashion instead of playing football.
And by the way, Gucci is Italian too.
I know a rapper named Gucci Man that I listen to.
And he's named after the bag.
Oh, jeez.
I'm just saying, man.
God.
I'm just saying. I get it. Zeke was bad, but at the same time,
yeah.
I don't blame Zeke. So with Andy fucking Dalton. Like, come on, like it's Andy Dalton. Like, do you feel confident in Andy Dalton? Stand on your football field. Do you feel confident with that redhead guy standing there? Like
They were facing 11 men in the box.
Day.
That's what it was. It was 11 men in the box every play.
Well,
I look at Andy Dalton. I don't feel comfortable like we're about to win this game. I'm like,
how many NFL teams can you say, you know what, I feel confident in my backup quarterback?
No, it's hardly any.
done.
Maybe a half a dozen?
But you say Andy Dalton's the best of them, though. Probably.
just
But some
for
people-
Clint, because I saw this before we were jumping on, and I was like, oh, I got to bring this up for Clint. this little.
I don't blame him for. It's not his fault. He put the Jets.
Hang on. No, because I just brought this. I just pulled this up. I couldn't find the actual one I wanted because for some reason it all of a sudden got buried. It says that the Jets owner and GM actually were thinking about trying to call the Houston Texans to trade for Deshaun Watson.
Are they
I was
giving
like,
up their
You know
entire
what? The
trade?
Houston
And they're
Texans
try-
right now are so goddamn stupid they probably would make that deal. Would you take Laramie Tunsil big contract? Okay, yeah, we'll take him.
I'm thinking if anybody's seriously looking at that, it's Miami.
They got
Darnold.
they have the bait, they have the trade
I
bait
called
to
him
do it.
Darnold. I ain't
They have
calling him
the-
Mono.
They have the
2021
trade
working
bait,
already.
and didn't they clear some cap room this week? Van
Yes.
Noy?
Yeah,
They cut Kyle Van Noy.
they got draft picks and all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff. They could make a move. They could do it, but Watson ain't going nowhere. I think
Well,
Houston's going to make a stand.
If they make a stand, it's at the expense of their own club.
And why do they? Doesn't appear they care.
And that's just it. If they don't give a shit about winning, then by all means. But they're not going to win the way that team is laid out right now.
Yeah, Houston turned around and is now plus 31, but the Jets actually increased themselves. They're sitting up at plus 80. Jacksonville's sitting at plus 82.
What's these for again?
So
That's how much money they got.
that's what their salary cap, their plus or minus off of the guesstimated 185.
Now let's think about
which they
this.
still haven't turned
Yeah,
around and
they
come
still
out and
got to
said
come out.
yet.
They got to figure that out here.
They got,
If they're going to
and
trade,
Shefty said, that, oh, it could be 187, but it could be 183. And I'm like, just go in the middle at 185 and leave it alone. Quit farting around. But, they haven't even obtained what that is going to be yet. I think somebody's full of crap
if the Jets do trade Sam
with the
Minor,
salary cap.
who will be interested in him?
Well, I mean, Indy was interested in Carson Wentz, so somebody will be interested in Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Again, I
Well,
pick on Sam Minor a
but
lot.
the thing about
But then again,
Wentz, though,
he's with the Jets,
remember-
okay? They're just a clusterfuck of an organization. I think you lead the Jets, you'll be better.
I was going to say, with the Carson Wentz, Frank Reich is the head coach there. He already worked with Wentz in Philly. So
Yeah.
that's why that's how that relationship works. There's no relationship for anybody with Sam Darnold. None. Nobody.
I'm trying to
There's
think
nobody out there.
I'm trying to think of a team that will probably take a chance on him. I'm really trying to be nice.
Denver?
That's who I was
Denver?
thinking. I was thinking Denver. Because Drew Lock just sucks.
I mean, that's. And
I mean,
right now,
I'm gonna throw a wild scenario out here. I'm gonna throw a wild one out here.
Maylock and Chucky both said that they're good with Derek Carr, so Carr's not leaving
If you,
Vegas anytime soon.
I'm about to throw out a wild scenario here, and this is a wild one.
Uh-oh.
So don't mute me. What if Dallas decide to part ways with Dak and try to trade for Darnold?
Mute him.
That's worse than anything Suds has ever said on this. That's worse than anything.
Jerry
Suds has
World might
Suds,
burn
you are
down.
clear. Stupidest thing ever said on this program. You're welcome.
How was I out there anyways? You got acres on this show.
Touche.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
You're
nobody.
more reliable.
With that being said, I can't think of no suitors for Sam Darnold.
Somebody
stuck
will
there.
take a flyer on him. It's just I don't see somebody is grabbing him to be their starter. I mean,
Yeah,
remember,
he's a backup at this
he's
point.
still only 23.
He should have stayed in college.
I mean, he's 23 years old and been stuck on the same team, a really, really terrible team his entire career.
With bad head coaching, bad
Yes. I mean, that's
everything.
those
just say
reasons are
this.
why somebody will probably take a shot at him if he hits the market. But it's like, you're not going to give up something to make him your starter because you haven't seen anything from him.
Bowles got a second chance, and look what he did with it.
Hey, at least he's not Josh Rosen.
Well, yeah.
He still has a job. Where's Josh Rosen at? George, I heard last he was playing for your 49ers.
Who's that?
Josh Rosen.
Josh Rosen.
Don't want to talk about it.
Oh, it's true?
Don't want to talk about it.
Okay, we won't. I'm saying just talked all that shit.
Yeah,
I never liked Josh Rosen anyway.
That's where he's at.
I felt I feel like he was a rich son of a bitch who didn't like the game of football. His daddy made him play it.
I was gonna say, and
He didn't come off to me as somebody that liked the game. Like loved the game.
We don't know. Zolt said we don't know what Darnold's actual real capabilities are.
We don't.
Because look at Brett Favre. He was in Atlanta and freaking bonehead down there. Oh my God, his name escapes me. Mr. I need to change the whole team to wear black.
Glanville.
Falcons are wearing black all the time.
Glanville. Jerry Glanville.
Thank you, Jerry. Yeah, bonehead. He is like Brett Favre's a throwaway and just gave him to Green Bay and was like, oh, well, look where that led to. Oh, he's a Hall of Famer. Way to go, Jerry.
Yeah. To compare and contrast though, Darnold and Rosen. Darnold's 23, Rosen is 24. Darnold's been stuck in hell his entire career. Rosen's on his fourth team?
Fifth.
It's fourth or fifth.
I think it's his fifth, maybe even sixth, because
He was never good.
I think he's been traded during the season,
I'm out.
right?
Talk to you later.
He's been on.
See you.
He's on his fourth. Arizona, Miami, Tampa Bay, and the 49ers presently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sucks.
And that's not
Some
even,
bitch.
it's like,
Don't feel bad
not
for you
even
neither.
like, oh, I guess you're a bad fit for our system. I mean, he's been in multiple systems now, and nobody wants to keep him for very long.
I told everybody about Josh Rosen. Everybody, oh, you just saying that about Josh Rosen? 'Cause I'm like, bro, I've seen him play. His demeanor, he don't love the game. It's like he got forced to play it, and it's just something that he like has to do. Like,
I wouldn't be bummed if the 49ers traded for Darnold. I wouldn't be disappointed. I'd be like, yeah, come on.
he gets to see with
Worth
the
a shot.
49ers.
Yeah. Put
See,
a flyer,
he is not as
put the
bad.
flyer out on him and see what he can do with guys who can actually block.
I talk smack about that man a lot. I mean, again, he deserves it. You missed 8 games because you had mono. Okay, be smart.
The Jets
he's
have no
not that-
offensive line.
It,
The
yeah,
Jets have zero
it's
offensive line.
literally the fact that the Jets don't have no weapons around him. That's why he's so bad.
But the line is bad. If you can't work on building your line,
Only
you
good person
have
on that
to-
line is Mekhi Becton. That's it. He's the only good person on that line.
Okay.
But yeah, you ain't got no offensive line. You ain't got no tight ends. You ain't got no running backs.
And
He
your
ain't got
center
nothing.
can't call an audible to save his life. Yeah. All righty. Well, with that being said, folks,
I got one thing. Did you see this thing that made it around the Twitterverse today? The Terry Bradshaw thing, the on this day thing.
Oh yeah, about you had to get an elbow surgery.
Yes. Okay. Just
Hang
real
on.
quick. I mean, this is less than a minute.
Yes.
On this day in 1983, apparently Terry Bradshaw checked himself into a Louisiana hospital to have ligament surgery on his elbow. And, you know, because he's a celebrity, he checked himself in under an assumed name. And the hospital let him do it because he's a celebrity. You don't want press around. You don't want fans going to the hospital or whatever. So he was there for 2 days after the surgery, checked out on March 5th. This is 1983. The name he checked himself in under at the hospital was Thomas Brady.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Yes. I've seen that. I was like, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, and that's a show.
Freaking
Thomas Brady. Yeah.
And that was before he was even thought
Yeah.
of.
Tom Brady was 5 years old.
You can't beat that.
Wow. Yeah.
It's just-
Oh my God.
I've seen that close my Twitter feed. I was like, yeah, that story is awesome.
Yes.
Unfreaking believable. Wow. Alrighty, folks. Well, like I said, we're done on Wednesdays. Looks like we'll be sliding over to Tuesdays, starting hopefully on the 16th. But that's a TBD. It's kind of the soft date at the moment. And it'll be 8 to 10, is, I believe, what we were nailing down. So it'll be cut. Won't be running so late. So for everybody who is still locked in and tuned in, thank you very much for hanging in, and I'll keep you posted on Facebook somewhere, and we'll catch you on the flip side. For Zolt and Clint. And Clint, go ahead. Yeah, the Wildcats rule.
Go Wild Aces.
You said what?
Clint, go ahead and close it out.
Oh, 3 days later, Tanel is still a bitch. Okay.